Welcome to the Jeff Canada Show. But if you're going to get your feelings hurt, you might need to turn this shit off.
Cool. Yo, welcome to another episode of Jeff Canada Show. I am your host, your awesome, sexy, lovable, huggable, beautiful, talented, fantastic, completely full of shit host of this show. And I got my buddy Zach Jones here for another intro. What's going on, dog?
No, making it, man, making it.
Yeah?
Hanging out.
Yeah, so Montgomery County Fair was last weekend. The Montgomery County Cook-Off was last weekend. And you played it.
I did.
I watched your full band play for the first time.
I appreciate that. How was it?
Dude, it was great, man. You guys were really good. It was really tight. Songs were good. I only stayed for maybe 5 or 6 songs. But yeah, man, it was good.
Yeah, the drummer, that was his first show with us.
Yeah, he's a beast.
And we did not have any practices, no rehearsals, nothing. I sent him the set list. I said, learn it, show up, play it.
That's how the pros do it.
If we like you, we'll keep you.
Yeah.
And literally, I was like, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, now you're stuck.
I might take him.
You probably pay better.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. We are currently auditioning drummers.
Are you?
But I have a few that are doing some fill-in shows between now and then. Yeah, I'm revamping the whole band. Eris is leaving, and so I got Josh Kimmich, who used to play guitar for Trent Cowley. He's going to come do some shows with us, and we'll see what happens.
I might throw a drummer your way. Let him do a little auditioning for you.
Cool.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, as long as he's free to travel. I just got to get guys that I don't have to worry about bullshit.
Yeah.
Like Dwayne, I love playing with Dwayne. He's one of my favorite drummers I've ever played with. I've been playing with him on and off for 15 years, dude. I love the dude. But he's married and he's got 2 young kids and they play baseball and he wants to be a good dad. And,
that's understandable.
And 100%, dude.
Yeah.
And so I don't hold that against him at all, but I need dudes that this is what they want to do. Like, because the music business is one of those things where if you're going to do it on a certain level, you got to do it.
Yeah.
And it's got to be you got to be obsessed with it almost. Mm-hmm. And you have those drummers and those guitar players and guitar players like Eris, like Brian Sal, those guys, they have committed their life to playing that instrument.
Yeah.
And that's their main priority.
It's like, you were talking about how the drummer has kids and stuff like that. And like, I was talking to my lead guitarist because we have some shows in August that he was like, I might not be able to make this show.
Mm-hmm.
What day is it? So I can see if I can reschedule my stuff. I was like, well, what do you have going on that you might need to reschedule?
Yeah.
We're all real close. I was like, you can tell me anything you want. And he's like, well, I want to go see my son for his birthday. I said, absolutely, go. Because his son's in the military. He's like, but I don't want to miss a show.
Yeah.
I was like, well, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
pretty awesome.
I was like, but it's one show.
Yeah.
I was like, your kids are important. I was like, he's in the military. I was like, there's no telling when shit's going to hit the fan. He actually has to go off to war. Go be with him for his birthday for a couple days. Fly out wherever, or drive out wherever he is and see him. I said, I can find somebody to cover for you for one show. He's like, but I don't want to lose my position. I was like, you're not going to lose your job over one show.
Yeah.
I was like, you would have to fuck up a lot.
Yeah, that is one of the dangerous parts about that, with fill-in guys, and I've seen that happen a lot, dude. Even with guys that you're completely loyal to, and I've seen them take a night off, and then you get a fill-in guy, and that guy just adds a certain dynamic to your show, and you're like, I gotta have you, bro.
I don't think honestly, I can't say that I don't think it would work that way with me, because I love my guys to death.
Yeah, but you're also not out touring full time.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Bree Bagwells of the world.
Yeah.
The ones that are out touring all the time. And so they have to use, when you're on that level, you have to use certain caliber of musicians.
Yeah, of course.
When you're more of a local guy like you are, like I'm in between the two. Like I'm in between where you are and where Bree Bagwell is.
Yeah.
Like she's on the road full time, I'm on the road part time. And you're not on the road at all right now. And so it's just a different animal, man. And so, I commend you for having that. And I'm the same way. I'm a pretty loyal person.
Yeah.
As long as you don't really fuck up.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. Or do things that I don't want you to do, like, out there doing hardcore drugs or staying drunk the whole time. Because I have some rules for my band, and I don't care if you smoke weed. I don't care if you drink. Don't do it to the point where you can't perform.
Right. The rule always has to be handle your high.
Yep.
Because if you start eliminating musicians based on the dumb shit they do, you'll never have a band.
Yeah. And it's like with me, like I'll drink. And I fight with it. I don't say I fight with it. I'm very good about making sure that I don't get drunk on stage. And when I get to the point where I'm like, okay, enough's enough.
But there's a huge difference between what you do and what your band does.
Yeah.
What you have to memorize. That doesn't make sense. What you have to remember is that you're paying these guys a wage to do something for you.
Yeah.
You're their boss. You're their employer. If you get fired from you being a retard, right?
Yep.
Then that's on you.
Yeah.
But if you get fired for them being a retard, that's still on you.
Yeah.
And so it's like this whole, do what I say, not what I do kind of thing is what it's got to be.
And that's the thing that I do is I'm trying to set an example,
Yeah, no, that's what I do too.
And I can't get at them to not do something. I can't tell them, hey, you can't do this, only to an extent, and then go and do exactly what I'm telling them not to do.
Yeah.
So when I'm on stage, if I feel like I'm getting to the point where I'm getting too drunk, I'll even look at my mom and I'll look at my drink and point at it and look at my mom and just go like that. And she knows that that's it. That's done. Do not let anybody bring me anything or anything like that.
Yeah.
Because
that's good you have that. I never had that.
Yeah.
When I was drinking, it was.
I used to be an alcoholic.
Yeah, we're going.
Yeah, I used to be an alcoholic. So
I wasn't an alcoholic, but I was definitely drank for sport.
I was definitely an alcoholic. It was wake up in the morning, drink, go to work drunk, driving big rigs, stupid shit.
Yeah, don't do that.
And I woke up one day and was going to pull the bottle off the top of the fridge where I kept it and was like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good. I don't know what it was that night while I was sleeping, but I woke up and I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, even now that I don't drink, every now and then I'll have one, and while I'm drinking it, I'm like, this is dumb.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste good.
Yeah.
Nothing. This is not going to benefit me. You know what really sucks though? I've been really railing a lot on how bad it is in the live music industry right now. Meaning, society just does not give a fuck about what we're doing right now.
They don't.
And it sucks, And there's a lot of things that I think contribute to that. One of those being just such a severe penalty for DWIs, and not a really good way for people to get around without, I remember back in the day, the designated driver thing was a really big deal. Like that you saw commercials on TV all the time about it, by getting a DD. And then the Uber thing happened. But man, a lot of people, if you're going to go out and you're going to spend 50, 60, 80 bucks on alcohol, you don't have the 40 bucks that it takes to fucking Uber somewhere.
Yeah.
And it sucks, but so those people, they just don't go out, or they go out and they drink and drive.
Yeah.
Because there's no like real good programs anymore to get people home safely.
And see, I was bad about drinking and driving.
Well, me too.
And
worst.
I don't consider having 2 or 3 drinks drinking and driving.
Right. Me neither.
I consider drinking and driving being drunk.
Right.
Can't see straight.
Yes.
All that crap. And I used to do it. And now that I've calmed, like if I go out drinking, it's 4 drinks and I'm good.
Yeah, I don't drink at all anymore.
Yeah.
And I've noticed myself kind of getting onto my friends. I had a really good friend of mine, Brian, came over to the house.
All right, Dad.
A couple days ago, and he pulled up, and you can already tell he's been pretty sauced up.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, dude, you should not be driving. And he's like, dude, and and then finally he was like, yeah, I know, you're right. But also I'm not his dad, and he can do what he wants to do. But I've lost so many friends because of either drunk driving accidents or, them going out getting drunk and then doing something stupid that they wouldn't normally do. I've lost so many friends that way. So I'm glad I quit. I can't really do anything about what anybody else does. I'm just glad I quit.
I think I'm coming to the end of that road.
Yeah.
With drinking.
It's becoming a lot more socially acceptable, especially in our, if 10 years ago, you would not have seen all of these artists come out as sober.
Yeah.
You would not have seen it, man, because it was, our job is to sell alcohol. Our job is to sell party. That's our job.
Yeah.
And it's hard to sell a bunch of alcohol when you don't drink.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's easy to sell alcohol when you're getting up on stage and like, hey, somebody bring me a shot of Jameson, because what's going to happen is That person's going to buy you a shot, going to buy the other 3-4 members of the band a shot. They're going to buy themselves a shot to take with you.
Yeah.
So that's 4, 5, 6 shots, right? Just by me saying, I want a shot of Jameson. Well, now the bar does not get that from me.
Yeah. And see, I used to do it like if someone would buy me a shot or want to buy me a shot, the bartender already knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And usually it was, and I know it sounds to me, to the naked eye or whatever, to the random person, it might sound like a bitch move, but I always told the bar, like, when I walked in, I would be like, hey, if someone wants to buy me a shot, just put Coke in it.
Yeah.
Just put fucking
I've done
Coke
that.
in it. And it's because I don't do shots. Now, if you want to buy me a whiskey and Coke,
Oh, because you're a pussy?
yeah.
Really?
100%.
Huh.
100%. 100%. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm going to sugarcoat it.
Dude, I drink whiskey straight out the bottle, son.
I love my whiskey and Coke. It tastes good to me.
Yeah.
It does the
I like
same.
it. I'm just messing with you.
It does the same fucking thing. I don't understand people. Oh, you can't take a shot. You're a bitch. I'm gonna go drink this for $2 or $3, $4. You go over there and drink that $7, $8 shot.
Yeah.
I'll see you on the same side. We'll be drunk.
Yeah.
Here in a few minutes, or whenever. I'll see you in the same place.
Yeah.
And
Let's
we'll
talk
save
about
money.
music. Let's talk about music. Have you heard anything lately that just blew your fucking mind?
We were talking about the Craig Campbell album.
Yeah.
Coming out. Man, it's actually really good. He did really, 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 really good.
You've heard it?
Yeah, he finished the whole release.
Oh,
It's
cool.
all out. Yeah.
Let me go check
It's
it.
a class of 89 or 86, 89. Man, it's just
I'm just not a huge fan of cover records.
it's good though. He
I
did
definitely want to check it out. I know
He did justice.
Josh Weathers just released a new cover.
Man, that guy is just something else.
Dude, he's always been great, man.
I seen a video years back of him doing Whitney Houston.
He just posted it again and said, hey, I know a lot of people are asking out there if I'm the same guy. Yes, it's the same. This is me, and I've
Yeah.
done it every night since then.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
he's so... I've seen him at Do-Si-Do a couple times.
his ability, man, is just something else. Like, to be able to do all those different ranges,
Yeah, he's nuts.
it's
He's insane. Also, Nick Bossy, dude, he's got an album out, and there's a song on it that's on my release radar right now. It's called Demons. Dude, it's so good. He is so good. He just followed me on the socials, and
Hell
which
yeah.
is cool.
hell
But
yeah.
yeah, he's so good, man. He's got a song called "Slow It Down,"
Yeah.
dude. Like, it's so good. It's so fucking good. And like me, I'm like, really, what I'm starting to really do now is I'm starting to listen to my songs compared to these songs that I think are so good, and start to realize that I ain't shit.
Yeah. I listened to the final cut version for Cut Ties, the revised for 3 or the revision 3 before I send it off to mastering, and I was just listening to it and I'm like, it's good. It's releasable. It could gain traction. It is a very sad song, but like I was listening to it and then kind of compared it to some other sad shit,
Right.
and I'm just like, it could be better.
Yeah. And that's where I'm at right now. But it's also fucking me because I can't finish a song.
Yeah,
I got
I
like
can't.
25 songs that are like right there,
Yep.
but I just can't finish it because I'm like, man, like it needs the flavor. Like
Yeah.
what it needs the spices.
I'm gonna try it, man. I'm gonna try and play it because it's mainly an acoustic song. I thought about doing an acoustic album, and it being the main one. But I'm gonna try it again because I play it at most of my shows, my acoustic shows. I'm gonna try it this Friday because I'm opening up for John Wolf
Oh, cool.
and over at 2920 Roadhouse. I'm gonna see what what their reaction is to it.
Yeah, those guys are cool, man. I've played a few shows with them. Their guitar player it's funny because back in the early 2000s, like 2001, 2002, he was in a band. I can't remember the name of the band now. God dang it. Anyway, that song called Cops Don't Care. But I can't remember what the name of their band was, but we used to do some shows together, and one night we all got fucking hammered, and then the bar ended up not making enough money, and so I could only pay him a certain amount, and then their lead singer kind of got fucking lippy with me because I didn't have the money to pay him. There was no agreed upon amount. It was just the
Yeah.
cover,
Yeah.
And dude, I ended up fucking like trying to fight all of them, and I punched his van on the way out, and I haven't seen him since. And
Yeah.
then when I played at Grimes County Fair last year, we played with John Wolf, and he was like, Jeff Canada? I was like, yeah, and dude, it was cool. We picked up right where we left
Yeah.
off, and
Yeah.
they didn't, he didn't think much about
No.
that. Now we talked about it. I was like, dude, just drunken bullshit,
Yep.
man.
That's all it was.
Yeah. So he's a cool dude, man. You should definitely hang out with him for a bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna try to. I got to be there and do my sound check, and hopefully I get to meet them and hang out with them, and
Yeah.
talk shop, not really talk shop, just talk in general. You know,
Yeah.
I try not to do too much shop talking when I meet musicians. You know, because
Just don't even worry about it. Just be you. Just
Yeah.
talk you. Just don't act like a fan.
yeah, no,
Like that's really it, man. What I've really noticed is when you go to a William Clark Green or somebody like that, and you act like a fan, it doesn't. They don't really respond to you like they do if you just act like a normal, like you belong there.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I mean?
And the big thing is just if you want to be there and belong there, act like you belong there.
Right.
You know, stop being the giddy little kids. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
You know the new songs that you've heard, or is that it?
That's it, man. I haven't really had time to sit down and
Yeah, well, if you
Shop
guys
new
want to hear,
stuff.
if you guys really want to hear a cool list of songs, every Friday I release a completely new playlist. It's called Jeff Canada's Weekly Jams. I take all the songs off and put all new songs. They're all songs that have just been released that week. So y'all go check out that playlist. You know, it's got some really good ones on there this week. I think it's like 10 or 15 songs. Won't take you long to listen to, but definitely go check those out. I know Wade Bowen's new songs on there. Mary Jane, which is really fucking good.
I think I've heard that one.
Yeah, it just came out, so it's really good. There's a few that are on there that's really good. But anyway, so this week's episode is going to be with a guy named Brandon Howard. He's in a band called Howard County. We had a talk last week or 2 weeks ago. Super cool dude, very energetic. We did get into some debate about religion, which was pretty cool. What I really like about this show and a lot of the shows that, like I was just now on the Chad Prather show, and what's really cool is if you get outside of the media and you get outside of government and you just get normal people together, even when we disagree, we can still be friends and we can still have that conversation, which is really cool. So I was able to have that conversation with Brandon. Y'all check out this week's episode with Brandon Howard. One I didn't hit record.
Quick question: like, can we say profanities?
Fuck yeah. You can say whatever the fuck you want to say on this podcast. You can say retard if you want to.
Penis,
Yep. You can say whatever, pussy. You can say whatever you want.
vagine, syphilis.
I don't, I try not to get too, I will get political some points. I try not to get too slanted on one side or the other. I'm a very central person. So I try not to do that. And I try not to say anything negative about other artists. Other than that, it's free game, dude.
Cool, brother.
Like, I don't believe in censorship. I
Hell
believe
yeah.
in the First Amendment. And if YouTube demonetizes something, fuck them. They can demonetize something. I
Exactly.
don't give a shit.
Fair enough, brother.
Yeah, I'm just at the point now where this is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I have to do all that other stuff for everybody else.
And,
This,
and we do have to do all that other
for me.
stuff, which is crazy.
Yeah.
Could you imagine a time whenever artists just could sit down and write songs and perform it and, devil may care after all that shit? Now I got to do 50 different, I got to be concerned with 50 different platforms and am I posting on this and doing that and stuff like that? Man, the idea of just going out on a stage and, there's some good and bad parts about now the music industry, what it is, but bro, I think about those times all the time. Like that would be really
it's
sweet.
tough, man. It's a tough industry now. There's so many people out doing. I think the main problem. I've been doing a lot of reflecting on where I'm at in my career, and I think the main problem is that live music is just not special anymore for the masses. Because every time you pick up your phone and you log on any app, there's somebody playing live,
Right.
or there's somebody doing something music-wise.
Or belt and runs and stuff like that. And there's always been American Idol. Now it's been around for 12, 15 years now.
Yep.
So everyone just thinks that everyone can sing. It's insane, dude. It's nuts. It's absolutely crazy. Like you hear an artist now sing anymore, and you're just like, wow, that's incredible. And I'm constantly amazed at who isn't famous, and constantly amazed who is. I mean, to be completely honest with you, I mean, we were talking just off air, Peyton Howie, man, what a monster that woman is.
She'll be there.
She's got to.
Yeah, she's got the talent. She's got the work ethic. She's got sorry, I know I shouldn't say this. She's a female. She's got the looks.
Dude, she's beautiful. She's very lovely.
She's also super cool and down
Yeah.
to earth and so humble. She is literally the total package, and she's only 21.
And then you look at people that like don't have the biggest success that you could possibly imagine. Like I'm a giant Zane Williams fan. Like
Hell yeah.
I think he's incredible.
They're blowing up too, though.
Well, and they should, but that's the thing. They have every right to be blowing up. I have one man who has signed my guitar case, and it's Zane Williams, dude. And Adam Hood is another great. I don't know if you know who that is. Like,
Fuck yeah,
do
dude.
you really?
I'm talking to Adam about coming on the podcast.
No freaking way, dude. Well, dude, he is insane. He's one of the greatest writers ever, and I don't think he's gotten the respect that he deserves.
Out of all the followers that have followed me back on social media over the last year, when Adam Hood did, it like made me kind of giddy a little bit. Like I was like, and I like text like 19 people, and I'm like, fucking Adam Hood followed me back, and he like always comments on he'll comment on my stuff. I'll comment on his stuff.
Jeez,
it's really rad, and we've talked
we've
talked on Instagram, and so I'm gonna try to get him on the podcast. I'm probably gonna have to go out to where he's at.
Well, dude, whatever. He's a monster. He's just absolutely incredible.
And him and Jason Eady both are like two of my favorites.
Jason Eady, dude. He writes songs that just like what's the AM Hell or something. I can't remember. I apologize. My brain's messed up.
AM Radio Heaven.
Yeah, absolutely. What a great and that song became my anthem for a long time. Listen to that mug on repeat and stuff. And but dude, there's so many great artists where you're like, how in heaven, hell, and everywhere between have you not been more successful than what you are?
It's just the game's changed, man.
It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts. I mean, I don't know. Then I think that maybe I just have bad taste. I have weird taste, or not bad taste, but just I have a very specific taste. Like I think Travis Tritt is like one of my biggest heroes ever, and I'm going to get killed in Texas for saying this, but I don't think George Strait's as good as Travis Tritt. My personal opinion.
No.
I just think he's Travis Tritt songwriter. When I found out that George Strait didn't write his own songs, let me tell you, I'm not, you can ask my wife. I went into like literally, it was like a 2-week depression. I'm like, you didn't write them.
Yeah, he wrote Baby Blue, and that was it. Yeah, he's writing some of the later stuff that he's releasing.
And I'm not,
but not only that, he's boring as fuck live, dude. It's like watching paint dry.
I've never seen him live. Man. But I hear things. I hear like where he can, he truly is like a king, where he just like tells the crowd, like quiet down. The crowd's just like,
oh yeah,
yes sir,
oh for sure.
Well, I mean,
and listen, and you can't deny it. He's undeniable. His career has been undeniable, right?
Yeah, it's great.
But to me, Alan Jackson's better than George Strait. So. And I've seen Alan Jackson play live multiple times. I think Vince Gill's better than George Strait. I could go down the list of artists that I think is better than George Strait. But at the end of the day, if we really, and this is something I'm really coming to grips with lately, at the end of the day, if we really want to be successful as artists, we have to stop downing people that are successful and look at why they're successful.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, the mass is who you have to go after. You have to if you want to be successful. So you got to figure out. I'm not trying to say to change your voice or your art or do that. I'm just trying to say you have to look at those things. So like I talk so much shit about Morgan Wallen, bro. It's not even fucking funny.
Oh, what's crazy is I actually really like Morgan Wallen. I think
you stand him.
Dude, are you serious? I think his voice is pretty damn good.
I think his voice is decent. And I think if it's just him and acoustic guitar, it's pretty magical.
Yeah.
But I think he's a douche canoe. I think I've seen him do interviews where you could just watch the way he talks and he's just like so fucking cocky, bro. And some of these were back when he was just getting started, like on American Idol and shit, or The Voice or whatever he was on.
Hell yeah.
And man, and then that last record he put has 36 songs and nothing of depth.
Yeah. Well, that's a lot of songs too,
but nothing of depth.
How do you? That's crazy too. Like, how did you That's completely flying in the face of everything I'm hearing every kind of promoter say. You're not supposed to put out a huge amount of stuff. You're supposed to put out like a single here. That's kind of funny that you did completely.
Well, when you're already there, I mean, Cody Johnson, the same thing. When you're already selling thousands of tickets, like if you're already selling 30,000 seat venues out,
right?
You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. But and that's another different thing that I tell artists all the time. We cannot focus on them, and we can't. We're not even the same stratosphere, so we can't do the same things they can do. I use this as an example all the time. I saw Chris Cornell one time play at House of Blues, about 350 people, maybe 400 people,
dude,
and it was just an acoustic set. It was just him, and everybody was just in it. Like I'm talking about fucking in it, and so. But I go out and watch a cover band or like a acoustic cover guy play, and he's up there doing, Nutshell and some Pearl Jam, like this like 90s shit set on a bar stool with no energy, but they compare themselves to those guys, and I'm like, it's not the same. Those people can get away with that because everybody that goes bought tickets to see them play.
Yeah.
They could do whatever they want. If I play Do-Si-Do here in town, that's what I do. I do what I want. But if I go just play a bar, you can't do that.
Well,
you can.
Maybe that's why I'm not as successful as I hope to be, is because I get into so many venues, and I'm very grateful to play whatever place we'll have Howard County. But I tell you right now, man, there's been so many times where they're just like, you're not going to play any of your own music. You're going to do this, this, and this. And I'm like, absolutely, sir. And then I play everything of my own music, and I do it, and I rock it out. And afterwards they come up and they're like, that was incredible. That was great. I'm like, you weren't really paying attention to me at all.
No, they're not going to pay attention.
And listen, they just want asses in the seats, and that's okay. It's very hard. Like I've had very young people in country music be very discouraged by the whole business side of it. I'm like, it's just a game, man. You just got to kind of find what matters to you, because I can tell you right now, and people can come at me if they want to, I hate cover bands. I don't think you should be allowed to bring cover bands. I think we should. I know I'm an asshole. I'm a bad guy. And I'm gonna be. But I don't mind someone's covering a song. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind someone covering a song. I don't like it when you specifically. Let me be very clear. I don't like a Kiss cover band that I'm coming
like
here,
a tribute band.
Exactly. I do not like. I think it is so. It's frustrating for me. Like I'm like, you got up there and you sang everything they did, and you try to do it exactly how they did it, and you try to look like them, you dress like them, you try to do their mannerisms, and for me, it's hacky.
Yeah,
and I don't like it at all. But
I think it depends on.
I don't know, man.
I think it depends on the band. I got a buddy of mine who sings for an Ozzy tribute band, and he's Hispanic. And let me tell you something. But let me tell you something.
That's kind of dope, actually. Never mind, I take it back. That's pretty cool.
I'll give you some, but you can't tell. He looks just like Ozzy. He sounds like Ozzy. He does all the moves, like the clapping and everything.
But what time period Ozzy is he standing like?
Well, they do. No, he does everything. I went and saw him play on St. Patty's Day, I think, or something like that, and they did nothing but Black Sabbath covers. Everything was Black Sabbath, but they do it, they nail it. So it just depends how committed you are. But I see tribute bands that call themselves the tribute bands, and they don't even try to look like the same guys.
Yeah.
And I saw an AC/DC. I've opened up for an AC/DC cover band one time, AC/DC tribute band, and they were fucking badass, dude. If you turned away and wasn't looking, you would think that it was AC/DC.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Is
but that's commitment, and I respect it. What I don't respect, it's just it. But also, something else that I don't have a problem with tribute bands, but to me, tribute bands need to be to someone that is no longer with us and not touring anymore.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm back on the page with you. Like, if you want to do a Beatles, because half the Beatles are dead. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hear you out. You know what I'm saying?
Beatles, Zeppelin.
People would love to have that experience, but I don't know, man. It somehow cheapens it to me at the same time. I understand that more. I'll say it that way.
Yeah.
I understand that more than I would just you can go out and see, you could go out and see Ozzy. He's still alive. He's actually, I think he still tours and everything like that. But or even more to the point, Chris Stapleton, who I absolutely love. I think he's great. He was in a Travis Tritt cover band. I don't know if you know that. That's how he got to start. And so I'm like, but you could go see Travis Tritt. I mean, he's
I don't know why.
I don't understand that.
I don't understand how the bigger bands don't crack down on that shit. Take Pearl Jam, for example. Why is there a Pearl Jam tribute band?
There shouldn't be. You could go, the Pearl Jam could get back together.
Well, they're still touring.
Yeah.
They're still releasing music. They just released a couple singles not too long ago.
Fresh. My wife the other day, we went to God, what is wrong with my brain today? I apologize, man. You got any cocaine? No,
not yet. But we can get some.
Freaking.
I don't do that shit anymore.
And the Silver Bullet Band. Freaking. Why can't I think of his name right now? Sing Like a Rock. Why am I? My brain ain't working. I'm sorry, but anyways,
right.
he's alive, and he's he's going around. This Bruce Springsteen, he's still alive.
Yeah.
You could still go see Bruce Springsteen. Like, why would you go to? I don't understand. There's a lot of stuff in music I don't get though.
For sure.
But
I'm at the point now, I used to be very judgmental. I'm at the point now where I don't really knock anybody for their hustle. So whatever that
Fair
is,
enough, yeah.
whatever you're putting out, even Morgan Wallen, I just think Morgan's a douche. Like the throwing the chair out the window the other night is just fucking crazy. And if you're going to tell me that's not a temper tantrum because he didn't win an award, but he should have won an award. I mean, how can you not give the guy an award that's undeniably one of the most successful country musicians that are out there right now? It's just stupid.
that happens a lot.
But then again, why do we give a fuck about awards?
Right. That's
Like
a great
that's
point.
the big question.
Right.
You know why? So I was very, very, very anti awards and very anti radio placement, number ones, all that shit. Fuck
Why?
you. I don't give a shit about any of that.
But what was your reason for
Just
that?
because I don't think that art is a competition. And if art's not a competition, there shouldn't be any awards behind it. That's just the way I feel about it. And to me, if you're going to have charts, it needs to be total. To album sales, streaming,
Right.
radio.
Right.
It needs to be everything all together, because when you just say, hey, you got this number one in Texas, that does not mean that anybody other than those stations is listening to your music.
Right.
And so
Like Beyonce. Like those. I'm not trying to crap on Beyonce, but
Right.
like that whole thing where she's number one on country charts. I'm like, country people aren't listening to it. You're playing them. You're playing that song, and that's your choice.
Well, country people aren't listening to those mainstream stations anyway.
Right.
Nick Russo is a good friend of mine. He's the program director for the Bull here in Houston.
Nice.
And like the stuff that they play on that station, let me tell you something. The farmers are not listening to that shit. The people that are listening to that shit are the people that live inside the loop, that wear fucking skinny jeans. That's who's listening to it.
And you guys can't see this, but I'm wearing skinny jeans right now. I'm extremely offended.
Are you?
No.
Oh, I'm just saying,
No, we're joking, bro.
like there's just a certain,
No, I hear what you're saying.
you know,
There is.
it's pop music, and again, not knocking it. You listen to what you want to listen to.
Right.
I can't get mad because my stuff hasn't taken off because I don't do stuff that's radio popular. You know what I mean? That's just not what I do. I write from my heart. I'm not out. These other people that get in these bad deals, they want to be famous so fucking bad that they're going to cut shit you know what I mean?
That's a big thing too for me too. Like I've seen people I've had songs pushed to me that like, you should cut this. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do this. It's not my thing. But you would. I'm like, yeah, but I couldn't. It'd be my Cherry Pie. You know that story with that guy, that Cherry Pie from Warrant? Like, he hated that song.
Oh, really?
Like, he despised it. It's actually extremely sad. You've seen that guy in like multiple interviews being like, Warrant is a completely different, was the band that wrote, the lead singer wrote that for Cherry Pie, because the A&R guy came up to him and was like, I don't hear a single. And he was like, oh, you want a single? Went into like literally a boardroom, sat down for 15 minutes, said, blah, blah, blah. Where's the guitar? I'll show you this real quick. Blah, blah, blah. Is that what you want to hear? And they're like, exactly what we want to hear. And he's like, what? He goes, but screw it, we'll cut it. And it became this massive hit. Next thing you know, he's judging cherry pie eating contests and like all this crap like that. And he said, there's this insane quote by him, and this should shake new artists to their core. He said, it would have been worth me never getting famous to have ever sung that ridiculous song.
Yeah.
That's an actual quote from the guy that wrote that song, and he let her drink himself to death at 46 because of that stupid fucking song, dude. And I'm like, bro, what's crazy is I like that song, but to him, that was a curse. And you gotta respect the artist.
You do, but also, man, chill the fuck out. like, do what you got. Listen, if you want to have any success in any industry, not the music industry, any industry, you got to eat crow. You got to do shit.
Oh, that's true.
You got to do shit you don't want to do. You got to apologize for shit sometimes that you don't feel like you should apologize for. You have to do shit you don't want to do. And I've released songs that I'm not proud of. I've done stuff that was 100% for the money. I've played shows that are 100% for the money.
Oh, 100%.
But guess what, man? Like, if me going in and recording a song like Cherry Pie allows me to release 10, 15, 20 songs that are from my heart, then shut the fuck up.
Well, apparently not for him. He was like, God, he would rather, and he did drink himself to
Good.
death.
One less fucking dipshit.
Dude, I really like. I'm starting to see, like, I've been watching a lot of like your podcasts and stuff like that. You're very like you're trying to see it from both angles, and I really appreciate that crap, dude. I really do, man. Seriously, we're about to become illuminated.
Most people do not see it that way. Most people see me as annoying, but whatever.
Hell
Fuck
no.
'em.
I'm bringing a point to you, and I've noticed you purposely like, well, let me see the other side of it. I really actually appreciate that. I do that a lot with people. Like I'm very politically opinionated and stuff like that, and I don't. But I do try to see it from other people's angle and everything like that. Not successfully all the time, but yeah, definitely want to see it from their angles and stuff. So
Well, I think that's part of the problem. I think as artists, our job is to view the world in a very inquisitive manner. And we should do that with our politics as well. Meaning these musicians that are like super ultra hardcore right or super ultra hardcore left and won't even have a conversation with somebody from the other side, then you're doing yourself a disservice as an artist if you do that.
Yeah.
I have my stances on certain things that are the values that are not that I'm not pliable on. But man, I want to have a conversation. I want to have multiple conversations with people that I completely disagree with. And I can't come at them as I'm never going to come at them as better than them. And I don't look at people that disagree with me as the enemy.
Yeah.
I just don't. Like you got to think we are what our experiences make us up to be.
Hell yeah.
That's what we are. So I can't blame an inner city kid whose dad is in prison, who has like literally his only turn is to go out and sell crack just to feed his family at 12 years old. You know what I mean? It's very hard for me to look down on someone that's doing that whenever I've never had to deal with the stuff that they've had to deal with. Just like I don't like it the other way. I don't like it when these fucking stupid ass green hair, face pierced liberals want to come at some of us conservatives because they don't agree. I think that's where we are right now. We're so divided as a nation because we're so stuck in our own way and we're not asking questions. We're just doing statements.
I wonder if that's because of editing. I think it used to be. Like, have you ever watched? I used to watch interviews with people from like the 60s and 70s. If you go back and watch it, when there's a lot of like less editing and stuff like that, you'll notice that people pause a lot in their conversations. They'll just be like, and because of editing now from like in 80s, 90s and up, like everything's edited, from before, which I understand why they did that. But I think people stopped pausing. In their conversations, and I think there's something to be said. Like a lot of brilliance comes from the pause, from being like, I don't know, and saying I don't know or not. But the thing is, like I've hung out with the people that are the crack sellers and stuff like that, and they're more likely to listen to me than a lot of talk about stuff than some people that I've ever hung out with. And then I've met people that are like, have every advantage in the world, and they'll be the first to be obtuse, to close their ears up and not listen to anything. Well, I don't want to hear that. I'm like, well, I want to hear it. I want to hear what you got to say. I probably won't like it, or maybe I will, or I don't know. Or one thing that like I've never done drugs. This is a weird thing that a lot of people know.
Like any drugs?
Not one thing. Not done drugs. I smoked some cigars.
Missing out, bro.
And that's why I joke. It's kind of like an inside joke with me and my friends whenever I ask for cocaine and stuff like that, because I wouldn't. What's it say? Would be the pussy. So I've never done drugs. Drugs have never been an issue for me. Women have been an issue for me, brother. But no, I've never done drugs. But so for the longest time, if anyone was like wanted to do weed or just weed, I'd be like, that's fucking dumb. You're an idiot and stuff like that. And it's only been recently where I'm like, dude, that's the. Like weed is not my thing. I'm never gonna do it. Like because I don't really understand it. Like being drunk, I don't get drunk either. Like I drink some whiskey every once in a while, and I do like whiskey, but I won't get drunk. I I don't like it, But before it was a big thing where I was like, nah, anyone that even does weed, I'm like, you're an idiot, and now I'm just like, dude, that's not. Even if because I came from a very like religious family, even biblically that's not right. The Bible even tells people to give people strong drink. Did you know that? Like it says in Proverbs 31 that says you're supposed to give strong drink to someone who's dying. You're supposed to give strong drink to someone who is in poverty and they're like crushed by the way. Like it's a commandment in the Bible. And I didn't grow up like that. No one told me. But when I step back and I look at things now and I go, no, if I take the Bible at face value, what it actually says, not what someone else is telling me it says, and I look at people, forget who, there's this famous jazz singer who was notorious because she was strung out on heroin for the longest time. She has a great quote. She says that, thank God for heroin, otherwise I would have killed myself. Thank God for heroin. Otherwise, at my lowest point, I would have killed myself. And I think about things like that. Like, so a lot of my life has been, been just turned upside down. And that's good. It's a good thing. If you're thinking the exact same way you did when you're 17, good God, you're probably a dumb piece of shit, and I don't want to hang out with you anyways. And you're probably going to say the dumbest shit in the entire world. And hell, you don't want to. Dude, Jeff, you don't want to know me at 17. I was an asshole at 17. I was dude, you ain't never met someone that knew more than me at 17.
Yeah.
I knew everything at 17. You know what I mean? But like,
that's the way the world works.
Yeah.
I mean, at 18, you fucking know everything.
Hell yeah,
At
it is.
28, you realize that you don't know everything, but you still know everything.
Yeah.
At 38, you really start to realize that you're like, and I know some stuff, but I don't know a lot. And by 48, you're like, I don't know a fucking thing, man. I don't know fucking nothing. And then by the time you're 58, you finally start getting it all figured out. And then by the time you're 68, you're fucking dying. Like, that's pretty much how the world works.
You familiar with the Dunning-Kruger effect?
No.
Dude, you should check this out. I'm sorry, we're supposed to be talking about country music.
No, we're not. Listen,
Anything?
this is not a country music podcast.
Okay.
This podcast is let's sit down and have a conversation and let's get to know what makes people tick.
Hell yeah.
It don't matter if we can talk about country music, we can talk about sex, we can talk about drugs, we can talk about religion, we can talk about politics.
I love the crowd.
We could talk about whatever the fuck you want to talk about.
Damn, all right. Well, hell yeah, let's do it. Well, anyway, sorry, back to the Dunning-Kruger effect. You should check this out. It's absolutely fascinating. So the Dunning-Kruger effect, they won the Nobel Peace Prize, I believe, over this. But basically, when you start out anything, you have the highest level of confidence. And you imagine an XY axis, right? You start off something, your confidence is like out of control high. But then once you start actually learning about what you're doing, your confidence just nosedives, bro. And then when you finally get to the point where you're kind of proficient, your confidence goes back up, sure. By the time you get to mastery, your confidence will never be as high as before you started. And their premise was that, a lot of people's premise, I should say, is that you have to be that way.
Yeah.
Because, dude, if you knew half the like country music, for example, half the shit how much crow you got to eat to do country music, how many times you got to like play a show at like 1 o'clock in the morning after the headliner because they didn't want to stay up so late, and the whole crowd's packed out, and then everyone leaves and you're the last one there.
Yeah.
And that mean just eating it. I don't think anyone would do it.
It happened to me this weekend.
No way, dude. Are you serious?
Yeah. So they booked me on a festival with Scott Stapp from Creed and Tonic and Kane and Bryce and 2 other bands that I don't know who they are.
Yeah.
And I find out the week before the festival that we're the opening band. We're the very first band. Okay. So I drove 8.5 hours. We played from 12 to 1 for pretty much Blades of Grass. And the person that played after me, the band that played after me, all the bands were really good. So I'm not knocking the bands. They were all really good.
Yeah.
But like the band that played after me had 25 monthly followers on Spotify.
You just gotta eat that.
The band that played second had 100 and something. Kane and Bryce, who's a bad motherfucker. I'm not talking shit about Kane and Bryce, but he's got like 3,000 monthly listeners.
Yeah.
I got 10,000.
Right.
And I got 15,000 on all my social medias. Like I've been, and so is Kane, and I'm not knocking him in any way.
Oh, no, absolutely.
I'm not knocking the bands. But the people that put this fucking festival together, dude, I lost my shit on them, and I did not stay. Yeah. The coolest part about it was I got to hang out with Tonic and during their sound check, and then afterwards that we had about a 20-25 minute really cool conversation with the singer Emerson. And I've seen them play 20 times. I mean, I love that band.
I didn't know that.
So that was cool.
Yeah.
Other than that, there was not a single fucking redeeming thing about going on that festival.
Yeah.
But it's part of the business, and it's going to happen.
Yeah. You gotta, what's crazy too, the people that I really appreciate, because I've helped out with like sounds and everything like that, like roadie and stuff. The people that I appreciate is the people that they got that shit slot that you got, and then they just put it all out there anyways.
That's us.
Like there's like 3 people out there.
There was no one.
These people are gonna know who Jeff Canada is. Like they're gonna know by the time this is over. Like I respect that, dude. Because you got to smile sometimes up there. You're gonna be like, this is a foul. This is I'm getting beat. I'm getting like.
Well, it's called putting on a show.
Yeah,
It's called performing.
It's literally in the title. You know.
It's called performing. It is the entertainment industry.
Yeah, man.
Like you have to get up there. I don't give a shit if I have 3 people in front of me or if I have 3,000. They're gonna,
it's easier.
Let
to
me
do
not
3,000.
let me not talk out of turn here because we just played in front of 6,400 people like 2 Saturdays ago, and we fucking slayed it,
dude.
son.
I love that, dude.
So
you know, I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and the
devil.
Whatever, dude. The devil.
That's the devil. That's the devil town,
Dude, it's dude. That place is crazy.
That
man.
motherfucker's got so much of my money.
Dude, it's all casinos
damn,
now.
dude.
When I grew up there, man, they didn't even have casinos. Like they busted a pinochle group. Like this Catholic church ladies. They're playing pinochle, and they freaking they hemmed them up, man.
Yeah, because back then it had to be on the water.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So the only thing you had was boats.
But now it's like,
yeah,
dude. It's like gambling play. But it's a rough town, man. It's actually getting pretty rough, right? From my cousins and everything still telling me that. But I grew up in Lake Charles, Louisiana, man. Blues is huge there, dude. Like absolutely huge. So like one of my favorite things to do is just because I heard like Howlin' Wolf say this all the time in Muddy Waters is you got to cut people's heads off, and that is like whenever if you're opening for somebody, you better do everything you got to freaking make them rise up to the occasion of it, stuff like that. And
is that how it works?
Cutting the heads off.
Is that really what it is?
That's what I try to do. I try to like when we play a show. I mean, I'm not gonna do something disparaging. I'm not gonna like kick a hole in their amps or something like that so they don't play as good as me. But I'm gonna like go out there and I'm gonna show them. I'm gonna play as best as I possibly can to make them to show that I belong on this stage with whoever it is. And
It
stuff
just
like
reminds me of a funny fucking story.
Give it to me, man. I love funny shit.
I won't tell you who the artist is. I'll tell you
and
later.
I won't try to
because I promised myself that I wouldn't even bring this fucking loser's name up anymore.
Oh God, dude.
But so I'm opening up for someone, and
You're about to. You're about to open it?
I'm gonna. No. This happened.
This is in the past.
Happened in
Okay.
2020.
Got it.
So I got asked if I wanted to open up for a guy at a bar that I play pretty routinely.
Sure.
And I was like, absolutely, he's one of my fucking heroes. Let's do it.
Oh, he's a hero.
So
this is gonna hurt.
I was playing every other Thursday at this location,
Uh-huh.
and so I actually played there the Thursday before the Saturday show, just an acoustic show. And so the owner hits me up and he's like, "Hey man, like please don't Jeff Canada the shit out of this show." And I said, and I've never been asked that before. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? He goes, well, this guy, he's not like you. He's not going to try to get the party started. He's going to get up there sing his songs. And he's like, still warm up the stage, still make some jokes, still get everybody drinking, but just don't go full 100% Jeff Canada on it.
See, can I just say, but I want to hear the rest of the story. I can tell you exactly what I would have done. I would have been like, oh, it's fucking on. I would have been like, it's going to be even more Howard County.
That
I'm
kind
gonna
of
shoved it down your throat.
That kind of accidentally happened. So
that's exactly what I would have done.
So-
Dude, I would have. You should have said nothing to me, dude. I would have sorry, go ahead.
So for acoustic shows, I don't ever do a set list. All right. Even if I'm opening up for somebody, it doesn't matter how big the show is, whatever. For acoustic shows, I never do a set list. I just get up there and fucking wing it, right?
Okay.
Well, this one I was like, okay, since it's gonna be like this, I'm gonna go ahead and do a set list. I'm gonna be super pro. I'm gonna show up. I'm just gonna do my job.
Okay.
Whatever. So I show up on song number 2 or 3. I break a string on my guitar.
Okay.
Well, all of that planning and all of that
Yeah.
professional went right out the fucking window because
Yeah.
I'm like a deer in headlights. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
I just replaced my strings before the show.
Yeah. Oh. that's
So I
the
look over
worst.
to my guitar player and I'm like, hey bro, just do one real quick. So he sings some songs. Like he just does a song. I hop off the stage real quick,
Yeah.
throw a new string on there, get back on stage. And then I'm like, fuck it, bro, play Alive by Pearl Jam. Now this is just 2 acoustic guitars. This isn't a full band. And dude, when we started playing that, the cell phones started coming out. The crowd started getting quiet. Well, for the rest of our set, dude, I had them right here in my fucking hand, and I Jeff Canada the shit out of that show. And then
you
afterwards,
had to.
And then afterwards, that guy was just a total fucking dick to me. And
Okay, but here's the thing, though.
And so-
that motherfucker should have known better. And I'm sorry, brother. This is your job as the headliner. If I do that, if I bring the heat, you better I can tell you exactly what I would do. If you're opening up for me, I would, and you did that shit. I went, oh, Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
That what I would have said. I'm gonna show you a show. Let me show you how to do that.
And I don't know that he did it or if it was just the owner's thing. I don't really know whose idea it was for that. But either way, I didn't want to burn a bridge.
Sure.
And I wanted to potentially, open up for him multiple other
Absolutely.
times. And if he's a cool dude, then cool. But he's not a cool dude. And that's okay. It's fine. Listen, it's perfectly okay. People can be who they want to be, man. Now I know. But it also taught me a lot because that was one of my first bigger opening spot shows. And it just taught me a lot, man. You have to really, if you really want to keep your sanity in this industry, you have to taper your expectations.
Okay.
You have to, because if you are expecting good shows, you're never going to have good shows.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're expecting the headliner to be cool, he's never going to be cool enough. So now it's like, I don't even fucking care about meeting the headliner anymore, dude. If I walk in, I don't give a fuck if I meet him or not. If they want to meet me, then they'll meet me. Like Tonic the other day. I mean, I was hanging out. I wasn't gonna go up and talk to them, but they were doing sound check and they saw me upstage. I was on backstage, like just rocking out, and he fucking comes up to me and just immediately starts talking to me. That's how I want it to be.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be ever me approaching them as a fan. I wanted them to be either them approaching me or we just like first time I met William Clark Green, we were both just in the green room of a festival, and him and I just started talking.
Right.
And now every time we see each other, it's fucking we just have fun. It's a cool time. You know what I mean? And that's much better than going up to somebody and being like, "Hey, man, I'm just such a huge fan," and like, it's they get that all the time.
Yeah.
You know what they don't get? They don't get motherfuckers backstage that just act like they've been there. And we talked about it earlier before the podcast.
Absolutely.
And so I kind of tapered my expectations when it comes to that shit now.
I gotta ask you a question though. So when you had that. Do you think you did wrong by having them in the palm of your hands and doing everything you can?
No.
No freaking way.
No.
That's your job.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if you get them, and if you don't know about the music industry, sometimes you get people in the palm of your hands and they're like ready to take Rome. They're just, it's some of the most magical stuff that can ever happen to you on the stage. You get up there and they're just like, this is and you just have them. There's just nights. I had one of those nights one time. There were 20 people at the stage, on the stage, and they were half drunk. They were doing their stance, and I don't know, whatever the spirit hit or whatever, I don't know what you call it, brother, but like the show came together and there were nobody at the bar and they were all in the front and they were all going crazy. They were throwing beers, like swinging them in the air, dude. It was crazy. And then you get those nights, and then you get nights where everything looks like it's going to line up, and then like no one gives a shit. You could literally be throwing out bars of gold and they'd be like, who gives a crap? I don't care. Yeah,
that's kind of the norm now. That's becoming more at the bars, at just a normal, that's why if you really want to be taken seriously as a independent artist or as an original artist, you got to get out of the 3-hour cover shows or the 3-hour bar shows.
Hell yeah.
And you got to get into ticketed events only. And that's what I'm trying to do, is transition
It's a good idea.
into ticketed events, because when people pay $20 to get in or $25 to get in to see you,
They're invested.
They're invested. But if they just show up to a bar that you happen to be playing, they don't give a fuck about you.
Nope.
And 10 years ago, if you were good, you would win them over. Now,
Don't care.
they don't give a shit. And what's really funny is, like, you won't get any claps, you won't get any nothing, but then you get off stage and everybody just tells you how good you are. And it's like,
Yeah.
why don't you let a motherfucker know when they're
Right.
on stage that we're doing good?
Well, here's the thing, like what they don't, I think a lot of people didn't. I mean, did you go to a lot of live shows when you were a kid? I
Oh,
did.
yeah,
I went to
tons.
shits of them. What I don't think a lot of people understand is that something can happen if you allow yourself to shake off all the bullshit from your day, and some weird shit can happen on that stage. Magic. And not just for the people on the stage, for the people off the stage. I've been to shows where I'm like, what is happening right now? This is one of the most insane shows I've ever seen. Everything's coming together. The crowd's going nuts, and we can all together rise above the mediocre of this world and do something really cool together. And I don't think a lot of people even know that can happen at a live show anymore. It's absolutely insane. I don't know what the deal is, bro. I still do that too.
It's just society, bro. It's everywhere. It's a we've officially developed a society full of narcissistic people that it's more about the clicks and the likes than it is about experience in real life. And Also another thing is the amount. One, I attribute it to a few different things. One of the things was what I was saying earlier, is that every time you pick up your phone, everywhere you go, there's someone playing music. It's so overly saturated.
It's like that Nashville. Yeah,
It's just everywhere, man. And so when people, there's just nothing special about what's going on stage anymore, no matter how good someone is, because there's just so many good people out there. That's part of it. But I think another big part of it is after COVID, a lot of people started working from home and they never went back. And then also with text messages versus phone calls, I think that 90% of Americans don't get that social fix throughout their normal day. So then when they go to a place, they're going out for a social, they're talking, and they're like living in the moment with whoever they're with, and they don't give a fuck about what's going on in their surroundings.
That's a good point.
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I'm gonna retell that to everyone and say that was my thought that I came up with.
Knock it out, bro.
No, that's a very
but also
astute point.
just common decency is gone out the window.
Oh my god, dude! Insane
and
shit.
I equate clapping for music is the equivalent of opening the door for a stranger.
Okay.
I really do. I think that at one point people looked at clapping as showing appreciation and a respect for what's going on.
Sure.
And I just think that people don't have any respect anymore of just basic things. You see it everywhere you go. Go to a Walmart and look at how many people don't return their cars to the basket. It's a basket return, even though it's right there. Go to HEB and walk in and look at how many people go through the 15-item aisle that have full baskets. Go to an ATM and look at how many people aren't even ready to do their transaction when they pull up and cars are piling up behind them. It's just a lack of common decency. So I think when you put all of those things together, not only that, a lot of people are really hurting right now, man. And I think that a lot of people think the world's going to fucking end because of all the division. You know what I mean? And so it's like, I just think everything's stacked against us right now. And that's what I'm doing right now is I'm trying to figure out, instead of complaining about it anymore, instead of bitching and moaning about it, I'm trying to figure out, okay, what can I do that would be special? Short of, now, I'm not going to come out in some like assless chaps or some shit.
Aww.
But
I was going to suggest that, brother.
But you know what I mean?
You have a nice butt, bud. I mentioned.
I don't have a butt at all. So you obviously haven't looked. But I'm just saying, like, what can we do as entertainers to turn heads even more? And I know it's difficult because, like, I'm a black belt at it. If there's you rarely hear me brag about anything. If there's one thing I'm really fucking good at, is it's getting the crowd's attention. I have tricks. I have little things. Anybody's ever seen one of my shows, you can ask them that I'm a fucking master at the entertainment part of things, right? Dude.
Did you start off busking? Is that how you did that?
No.
I
started out in theater. I've been on stage my whole life.
Okay.
And so I've always been an attention whore. And so my number one job has always been to get people to pay attention to me, right?
Yeah.
And that's what our job should be.
That's creepy. I did that. I started off in theater too, man. Yeah. Devil and Daniel Webster, first one, baby.
Nice.
That's right. Yeah, dude, I love theater, man.
Me too.
I'm a giant Shakespeare guy, dude. I love Shakespeare, dude. I force my kids to watch it all the time. They hate it, and I don't give a crap, dude. It's for me. It's not for you.
Yeah.
Dude, it's great. They're gonna love it later in life. But like, I absolutely love it. But I also that's how I started out in music. I started off because I didn't know how to do any of this shit. Now I knew that where people were, so I grabbed my guitar. I got an old Dobro because we weren't allowed to have any kind of amplification, and I just got loud on a street corner, and that's how I started doing it. I did that for 10 years, man.
Yeah.
And you got to find a way to get someone's attention so you can get some money in that bucket, and so they could stop and listen. Here's the big thing. Like I grew up very, very, very religious, and I'm very grateful for it now, even though I'm not a religious person. So there's a verse the Bible says, give wine to the dying, strong drink to we talked about that a little bit earlier and everything like that. I believe that's what music is. I believe it's people have really shitty, fucked up lives, and they have lives like you were just talking about, how like maybe they don't see anyone their whole life, or maybe they're so disconnected from, it's so much easier to leave a marriage than it is to stay in it. There's so much easier to get rid of a friend who's a little weird and off than to tend to be like, he's a good dude. You just got to understand. It's so much easier just to turn something off than actually listen to a point that's not what it is. So people are so disconnected and they're so lonely.
Yeah.
And their heart's so broken right now. and what music should be, and especially country music, is it's wine to the dying. It's strong drink to those who are perishing. Let them drink and forget their troubles. Let them forget their poverty and remember it no more. And I think honestly, that's what I tell my guys in my band. That's what it's about. We're there. We are there as a service to people, and that's one of the reasons I like country music is because more than any other, well, blues up there too a little bit, but like blues and country music, which is what I sang, blues and country mixed together. They're not afraid to hurt.
Right.
And I cannot express that to people enough. I'm like, it's okay if you saw a dude crying at the bar because the song you were singing, you wouldn't go, pussy. You'd be like, dude, I got him. He's feeling it. He's feeling it deep. No one, and I think that's what it is in country music. Like, you're allowed to listen to the most heart-wrenching stuff because people who listen to country music, not all of them, but for the most part, they're not afraid to feel a little pain, a little bitter in their coffee. It's okay to have a little bitter in your coffee.
For real country music.
For real country
100,
music.
I 100% agree, man. It's about the story. It's about the drama.
Right.
You know, the artists that are the best are the ones that are the most vulnerable. You know, like everybody's on this Jason Isbell kicking him in the nuts thing right now, dude. But let me tell you something, man. That guy has his stances, and he's very vulnerable about it. And you've got to figure out a way to separate the art from the artist, because if you're really, truly a genius in this industry, you're going to turn people off with your opinions because you're just different. We view things in a different way.
Crazily, like, and with ironically, like, people are all like, you got to be tolerant. Well, then be tolerant. If you're preaching tolerance, you better be damn tolerant, especially of those who are intolerant. It's a self-defeating ideology. If you believe, if it can defeat itself, it's literally what it is. I know that sounds redundant, but it bears repeating, because you have if you aren't tolerant of the people that are intolerant, that makes you the bigot. That makes you the intolerant bastard.
That's exactly where we're at.
So why are you being that way? Like, I will listen to some of the most insane shit, and I'm like, well, I don't know, man. But because I've been like, there's been stuff where I've listened to it, and I'm like, okay, hear me out. Please don't kick me. I'm staying in this chair. Don't kick me out of this damn chair. First of all, thank you, Jeff. I really appreciate you for having me on.
Brother.
I'm serious. Please don't kick me out. You know what artist I really was like when he first came out? I'm like, fuck that guy. And now I'm like, holy shit, that guy's a monster, dude. He got hits that are just tear at your heart. Is Sam Hunt. Don't. I'm
not gonna kick
you
out.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Because Sam, like, and when I was the guy that's like, oh, body like a back. I'm like, get the bullshit. Get your Florida Georgia line shit out of my country. And now I'm listening. The more I listen to his stuff, once again, I took a moment and I listened to a buddy that was listening to him, a great writer named Matt Barr. If you guys don't know who Matt Barr is, check him out. He's absolutely incredible. But he said, look, you're looking at Sam Hunt like he's just a straight country, like Waylon Jennings, like hard nose, David Allen Cole kind of. If you guys can't see it, Jeff is playing footsie with me a little bit.
Sorry.
But so he was, if you look at it like that, yeah, he's not country, right? But if you look at it, what if we had a pop country artist who happened to come from the sticks?
Yeah.
And I'm like, and was true to where he came from. It wasn't like, just trying to forget all that, where he came from. But like, what would he sound like? He'd sound like Sam Hunt. And I'm like, okay, that's an interesting way of looking. He goes, now listen to his music. And I listen to his music. I'm like, holy shit. Like 2016, you should check that song out. He's absolutely insane. Like, if you look at it from that point of view, that he's just a country stick boy who happened to become a pop artist, it's incredible. And you feel insanely represented as a guy from the country. Like, I came in the middle of nowhere. Like, I say I'm from Lake Charles, but I'm actually from the outside of Lake Charles, a place called Sulphur. It's a tiny little town that no one's ever heard of.
I know where it's at.
Do you really? Yeah. We're gonna be best friends by the end of this show. Watch, we're gonna be like
having
pillow fights, talking about lipstick, shaving each other's legs.
I think that I don't. Oh, you're good. I think that I don't knock a lot of artists. I don't knock a lot of stuff. My issue is not with people that sound pop. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm not one of those guys. I mean, I listen to pop music. I'm fine with that, dude. I love Justin Timberlake. My issue is more of the copycats. And to me,
what you mean copycats?
So like right now, everything that gets put on pop country music radio kind of has the same vibe. So it's not special. And to me, I use this thing like analogy all the time, but like the Highlander, there can only be one. And what I mean by that is George Strait did George Strait. Regardless whether he wrote his songs or not, he did George Strait. Joe Diffie did Joe Diffie. Waylon Jennings did Waylon Jennings. Willie did Willie.
Yeah.
You know, Taylor Swift is doing Taylor Swift. You just go. Luke Bryan is doing Luke Bryan. Like all of these people, they're doing their thing and they became really successful for it. Mm-hmm. But then the problem is once that person becomes successful, then you get this whole fucking train of dipshits that come right behind them and try to sound just like them. And then you have labels that are pulling those people off of TikTok because they sound like Morgan Wallen or they sound like somebody and they give them these fucking deals. These people have no idea what they're doing.
Right.
They've never played a show. They have no fucking clue what they're doing.
Yeah.
And then you wonder why you get out on the road and they sound like shit and you have one-hit wonders. It's very simple. You know, you stop getting people from that. What you need to be doing if you're a good A&R rep, you need to be going out and trying to find the next Zach Bryan, the next somebody that sounds completely different, the next Tyler Childers. And I'm not saying the next Tyler Childers, but like Randall King, for example. I fucking love Randall King.
Do you really?
Love him.
Some people talk shit on. I love
Randall King. He's a fucking great dude.
Yeah.
He's always super down to earth. I've seen very few artists give their fans back what he does at live shows.
Dude, what a sweetheart.
He will hang out with everybody and talk to anybody. He's fucking awesome. But everybody keeps saying, oh, he's the next George Strait. He's the next George Strait. He's the next George Strait. And I'm like, no, he's not. He's the next fucking Randall King.
Yeah.
He's doing his own thing. He doesn't sound like anybody else out there. And you go down the list. Randy Rogers doesn't sound like anybody. Wade Bowen doesn't sound like anybody. Adam Hood doesn't sound like anybody. Yeah. Jason Eady doesn't sound like anybody. You know, even people that are up higher, Jason Aldean. Jason Aldean does not sound like anybody.
That's true.
He sounds like him.
Yeah.
Do I like his music? Not even a little bit. But he sounds like him.
But he's him. He's
right?
him. He's just who he is.
But how many girls do you know in the Texas scene that are trying to be Miranda Lambert? Like all of them. Or now, how many do you know that are trying to be Lainey Wilson? All of them. They're all changing their style to look more like her. They're all doing all this other stuff. So then when you get somebody like Peyton Howie.
Yeah, who's insane, by
the
way.
Who comes in and has her own sound, her own look, her own vibe, her own thing. She's going to break through because she's just a fucking beast, bro.
It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. And then what'll happen is she's going to hit her stride, and then you're going to have a million fucking bands that are sounding like her. A million females are going to sound like her. Same thing with Cody Johnson.
Right.
How many people out there you go to and they sound just like Cody Johnson? So my biggest thing is, and that's part of what brings on this nobody gives a fuck anymore.
Yeah.
Because it's just a bunch of copycats.
Right.
You know, even if I'm going to do a cover, I'm going to do a cover my way.
That's exactly right. Dude, I've had some of the best things ever. Is like people come with that song you just sung. Like, that sounds familiar. I'm like, yeah, it's a cover. And like, dude, I'm like, see, I want to make a cover of my own. You know what I'm saying?
Same here.
Yeah, I did. Why? You could just go out. If I'm going to cover a Pearl Jam song, if you want to hear Pearl Jam sing exactly how Pearl Jam sang, it's track number 3. Go help yourself.
100%. Or go watch them live.
Yeah,
go buy a fucking ticket and watch them live.
Exactly right.
But if you're gonna come up to me, you didn't buy a ticket. You didn't pay for a ticket for the show. I'm just playing at a bar you're at, and you're gonna come up to me and tell me, dude, you played Wagon Wheel wrong. And the capo's supposed to be on the 3rd fret. Fuck you,
dude. Dude.
Like, not even a little bit of fuck you. Like, all the fuck you, man. All of it, because
it's so fucking stupid.
But you get that shit. You get it all the fucking time, man.
Like I've got it before. Like, you don't sound like that. I'm like, did you know that I'm a different person, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, I just covered, Willie Nelson's song. You know I'm not Willie. Did you not know I'm not Willie Nelson? I don't look anything like Willie Nelson. Good night. I mean, I just don't. Like, why? Of course I don't sound like Willie Nelson.
I get people all the time. They'll send me a song. Hey, you should really cover this song. I think you would sound really good doing it. I'll go listen to it, and they kind of sound like me. And I'm like, that totally defeats the purpose of me being an original artist.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if you want to see somebody sing that song, go buy a fucking ticket and watch that guy sing his song.
And I'm right behind you with it. Go. He's awesome. Great.
Yeah.
Just go do this. He wrote that song. That's fucking incredible. Great.
Well, like, one song that I refused to learn, I pissed a lot of people off, was Something in the Orange when it came out, because I'd get requested it every fucking night. I'm like, I'm not learning that song. I'm not learning that song. And well, why not?
It's so
because
funny you're saying
every
this,
single fucking person who plays on stage plays that song. Same thing, dude. Band of Heathens, Hurricane.
Oh, I love that song.
I love it.
Great song.
I
Badass.
love that fucking song, dude.
Right.
And I murder that song. I don't play it anymore.
Dude, yeah.
I don't play it because every single fucking person that plays it plays that. So like me, if you come see one of my shows, dude, I'm doing things like we opened up for Randy Rogers the other night, and we literally played With or Without You by U2, my
Yes,
own style.
yes.
We did Banditos by The Refreshments, was like a 90s one-hit wonder band. We did Alive by Pearl Jam, full band. We did Fight for Your Right by Beastie Boys. And then I did my originals, right? I did all that stuff, and we fucking slayed it. But guess what? None of those songs is a song that you're going to hear every single person on the planet play.
Right.
None of them.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go out and you're going to play Tennessee Whiskey,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the thing that I try to tell people, like, you can't get mad when people come up and request songs from you if you're already playing stuff that's overplayed.
Right.
You just can't. If you're going to play Tennessee Whiskey, you can't get mad that somebody's going to come up and ask you for something in the Orange, or the other way around.
Right.
Like, you just can't, or Wagon Wheel, or
Right.
whatever. You just can't, because you're opening on that door to them. If you really want to be different, pick better songs, or not better songs. Let me back up, because Tennessee Whiskey, I don't give a fuck if you hate it. It's one of the best songs that has ever come out.
Dean
It's-
Dillon is incredible writer.
But it's not even that. It's the fact that Chris Stapleton took this Dean Dillon song and mixed it with a Billie Holiday or Etta James song. Can't remember the everything. That's what he did. He mixed the two together and he put it out. And that version is literally one of the best songs to ever be released, ever in the history of ever.
David
it's
Allan
like
Cole did that song too, and I'm like, it's unlistenable.
So did
compared
George
to-
Jones.
Yeah, it's unlistenable compared to Chris Stapleton.
Yeah.
And I like both those artists. I'm not crapping on him, but like, dude, but he made it his own. That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what it's supposed to be. That's what. Yeah, I mean, I butt heads with. My management sometimes they're like, you should do this and this and this, and I'm like, I don't want to do anything unless it's going to be me.
Right.
And it's fine if people don't like it. I actually respect that. I've actually had an old man one time. This is one great story ever. Like, I was playing some music. He's like, I think you absolutely suck. And I'm like, okay, well, hey, listen,
thanks.
at least that's an honest opinion of me.
Yeah.
But I'd much rather people boo me than like come up and give me false praise and be like, oh, you did so good. You're incredible.
Oh, yeah.
I do. Yeah. There's Ralph Murphy, who's a great writer. I don't know if you know who Ralph Murphy was. He's the president of ASCAP for a long time. Helped me out with my songwriting really great. I'd say that his YouTube videos help. I've never met the guy. I'd say that like, me and him used to play softball on the weekends. That didn't happen. No, I watched a lot of his videos on songwriting. He had 55 #1 hits. He's incredible. But he said that people will come up to you after the show and lie to you. They don't know they're lying to you, but they're lying to you. When they say that they liked your song, what they really mean is, I like the atmosphere. I like that I had a drink in my hand. I like that I'm not at work. I like and your song's nice. And I'm like, so you got to like it. It's very hard to take that. Like, I take that with a grain of salt. There's a lot of people that like they do actually mean that, and that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, but. For the most part, I wonder like how much of that is
I don't know.
is
I
real.
think at this point, if somebody comes up and tells you they like you, then they probably legitimately mean it, because people aren't just dishing out compliments these days.
That's like, you know what? That's actually a really good point. That's I didn't think about that, but that is actually a legitimate point.
Yeah, I think 10 years ago, then I would say
Yeah.
you got a 50-50 shot that it's total bullshit. But I think now it's a pretty good chance they mean it, because so many people are not going to come up and do that. And for the fact that somebody is going to come up and do that, that's pretty cool.
That's actually a good point. That's a good point.
That's what I think. But
when people buy a T-shirt or a koozie or whatever, dude, like that is like
it's gold.
It's for me, it is gold, because it's legitimately actually investing in you and what you're doing and stuff like that. Like buying a koozie, they don't really I don't. There's an old expression. It's like the guy from Anthrax said this. It's a great quote. He said that all I ever wanted to be when I was a kid was a musician. Turns out I'm a T-shirt salesman, and I think about that shit all the time, dude. And I'm like,
but all this shit, at the end of the fucking day, this is one person's fault. And that's the fucking venues.
oh, I thought you were gonna say Billy Ray Cyrus.
No, it's the venues. It's the fucking venues' fault, man. Because
Wait, how is it the venue's fault?
Because-
This is going to be interesting. Go
because the venues that look at live music as an investment
Okay.
will do things to make sure that they set the artists up to be successful.
Okay.
And the venues that look at live music as an expense view music as just background noise that's something that the crowd that they just have to deal with. And so what they do is you have a bar, he opens up his bar. Okay? Not a live music venue. He just opens up a bar. He's open for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months.
This ain't working.
He goes out one night to his buddy's bar or to another bar, and he sees how badass that place is because they have live music. And then he thinks, I want live music at my spot. So he comes back and he says, okay, we're going to have live music. So then he reaches out to some dipshit like me that used to book bands, used to like book entertainers. And he says, I want to have live music. And then me, being the vulture that I am, I go in there and I say, okay, we can do live music here. And you find a spot to fit the person. You find this, you find that. It sounds like the room sounds like shit,
Yes.
but yet they still book live music. And so then you got guys like yourself that go in and play a bar. It's not set up for live music. There's a fucking punching bag game, 50 feet from you. There's
Television screens.
televisions all the way around.
All the way around you. I played one show where there was 2 televisions here and here. I'm like, you're turning these off, right?
Dude, this Cactus Jack's place that I just fucking went off on for telling me to turn it down 90 minutes into my set, they have the biggest fucking screen you've ever seen in your life. It's like the Jumbotron at the fucking at the Cowboys game behind you. And it's literally playing fucking basketball or Astros games or whatever while you're playing in front of
Or
it.
they're playing like bro, look, I understand there's like people come there for the game. Hang that shit over the bar, bro. Like I came like maybe
Or how about define if you want to be a live music venue or not?
Yeah.
And if you're a live music venue, then the time that the live music is going on,
turn the fucking TV off.
turn the TV off. Turn the games
it's
off.
so
Dude,
annoying,
turn
dude.
the fucking games off.
Yeah.
Turn them off. Because all you're doing is you're distracting people from what you paid somebody to come in and do for you.
Yeah.
But man, here's the deal. I can't be mad at them. Because
Trying to make money.
they're just fucking dumb and they don't know.
I tell them all to turn it off.
They're just ignorant.
I won't play a show if there's I'll be like, hey, we need to turn these televisions off. Oh, did the owner say? Yeah, the owner said it was cool. Turn them off.
So let me tell you, this literally
I
happened.
do. I legitimately do. That's the only thing that I'm very accommodating to, like all those things. If you have televisions on and while I'm like, especially behind me and around me, I'm sorry, I won't play. You pick one. That's annoying. It's you. What are you doing? Like you're.
I just told you.
You're
They're-
hurting yourself.
They don't look at you as an investment. And that's what you have to realize. And that's what we all need to realize. And we need to figure out, okay, do we want to be looked at with respect or do we want to be whores? I'm serious about that.
No, I'm not
And if
laughing
you
at you. I
want-
think it's
listen,
so true.
And
dude.
if you want to be a whore, I was for years, dude. From 2006 to 2020, all I did was play covers, and I was just a fucking whore, and I didn't care because I was making really good money, and it didn't matter.
Yeah.
I was just a whore.
Yeah.
But guess what that did? That closed my window of being respected at all as an original artist, and you
Feel dirty.
And so you have to, and that's where I'm at right now. What I'm doing right now is I'm going through my entire calendar with a fine tooth comb, and I'm canceling shit. But let me tell you what happened at this Cactus Jack's place the other day.
Talk to me.
So, the first time I played there, I killed it. But I was one of the first people to play. It was a brand new spot, and this place is huge, dude. I'm talking about it's like a football field big,
Damn.
huge. I mean, maybe not that big, but it's huge. I go in there and I play an acoustic show with just a Bose speaker. I go in there and I kill it. I mean, I made like $350 in tips, right?
Nice.
2-hour show, straight through, no breaks.
Got
Okay, that's how they book it, which is cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
that's
fine.
perfect. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Because that's how a regular concert would go.
That's how it should be.
That's fine.
So I do my show, then they love me. Like and they tell the person that booked me, like, we want him back. So they booked me once a month. Okay, which is cool. I go back and play the second show. It was okay, but wasn't great. You can already tell that the crowd went from being, hey, this is a cool new live music venue, to this is a new restaurant, right? You could tell that the crowd moved. And it's probably because the acts they were booking, whatever, doesn't matter. So then my third show there was a little bit worse. Then I played the last show I played there. Dude, I set up. I have a Bose speaker, a L116 Pro. It's a combo. It's got a
That's
sub
the
and
one with
and a stick, right?
Tower and everything.
Right.
Yeah.
It's loud, but whatever.
It's pretty great.
So it's setting 15 feet on my left. Then I'm in the middle of the stage. The stage is huge. It's like 30 feet long, right? It's a huge stage. Damn. Then you got this big old Jumbotron behind you where they're playing whatever. Then about 50 yards to my right, there's 2 garage doors, and there's an outside bar there, and there's a playground for the kids and all, but it's outside, so it's not distracting you. You can't even see the playground, right? They laid it out. They spent millions of dollars in this place and laid it out perfect for live music.
Nice.
Okay, I'm up there playing. Nobody gives a shit. Finally, about an hour into my show, I finally get the crowd to pay attention, and I'm like doing good, and they're
God,
clapping.
I love that. When you win them over,
you're fighting.
You're fighting.
It's a fight.
Exactly.
And you finally get them over. Well, 90 minutes into my set, so 90 minutes into my set, this girl comes over. She's not a manager. Maybe she is. I don't know who she is. She comes over and she goes, "Hey, can you turn it down a little bit?"
No.
Okay, I'm 90 minutes into my set. Well, what I said, yeah, sure. But who's asking? I always ask that because I want to take a gauge on who it is. If they come in, they set this old couple down and they're complaining, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. I will absolutely be. I'm very, very, very cordial when it comes to that shit.
Yeah.
This is what she said. No, the guy. There's a guy at the bar outside that says it's too loud. And I said, oh, well, no. I mean, he's 70 yards, 50 yards, 70 yards from my speaker. There's people that are 20 feet in front of it that no one's complaining. Yeah. Not a single person. Yeah. Everybody's having a good time. So I said no. Well, then I go back over and play my song. I look over and there's a female manager. And she's just giving me one of these nasty fucking looks, dude. So there was another manager that I get along really well with. And I was like, hey, bro, come here. And so I walk over to the stage. I'm playing a song. Walk over to the side stage. I was like, hey, man, can you go get Corey? Corey is the owner of the establishment. He's like, yeah, is everything all right? I was like, yeah, it's fine. I just want to talk to him. So Corey comes over and he's like, hey, I said, I got 2 of your employees that are asking me to turn it down. He goes, yeah, can you turn it down a little bit? And I said, like, really? He said, yeah, I need you to turn it down a little bit. I said, for the guy outside, I said, look at all the people that are right in front of me and no one's complaining. He goes, yeah, I'm going to need you to turn it down a little bit. And I immediately, without even skipping a fucking beat, I was like, yeah, okay, I'll turn it down. Go ahead and go backstage, or go ahead and go to the office and get my check ready. And while you're back there, mark all my shows off your calendar. And I just walked away. And I go back over and I do my last 20 minutes and I kill it. I do like Sweet Caroline and shit, like sing-alongs, the crowd's singing along. It's like, I went extra ham to prove a point.
Yeah.
But I never turned it down, not one time. Well, then at the end of the night, he comes over to me and he's like, he gives me my check and he's like, man, I'm really sorry about that. And I said, it's no big deal. I'm not mad at you. Like, it's fine. I said, you've spent millions of dollars
it's your place.
On this establishment. You run it how you want to.
Yeah.
But I want to play live music venues. And he's like, well, we are a live music venue. I said, no. Live music venue is not going to come up to the artist and ask the artist to turn it down 90 minutes into their set.
Yeah.
Like 3 songs in, 2 songs in, if you got an employee that's sitting over there and we're too loud, ask us to turn it down.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah.
Like no one's complaining about that. Yeah. But if I'm up here and I'm looking out and I'm looking and I see people that are doing this or they're kind of squinching in or they look like they're hurting, I'm going to turn it down. I'm a professional. I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right.
But if I'm reading this crowd and I'm getting them
and
into it,
and
then
shit.
some fucking douchebag walks in 90 minutes into my show and it's too loud for them, and you're going to manage your establishment to that 1%, then this is not a live music venue, bro.
Right.
And then I find out that every single band that plays there has an issue. Always tell them to turn it down, and so I'm glad that I made the decision I made. But that's the stuff I got to eliminate, and that's the stuff if you really want to be taken seriously as an artist, you've got to eliminate that shit.
Right.
You've got to.
And
it's hard because this is how I make my money. This is all I do. I don't have a job. Right. This is what I do. I make my money. I make my living playing music. And so it's very hard for me to tell a venue, especially a decent paying venue, to go fuck themselves. But until you can do that, you're never going to be taken seriously as an artist. And I'm sorry about that, but it's just the truth of the matter.
Right. We gotta, yeah.
And it's hard in this town because this town you can make $300 to $500 a night every fucking night playing acoustic shows.
It's true, and I have, and it's just they hurt my heart.
They're soul sucking.
I can't do it. Like they come over there and they're like, well, can you play this and this and this? I'm like, I planned one out for you. I got it all planned out for you. Let me take care of you. I mean that genuinely. When people say that, I'm like, sometimes I'll listen. I'll be like, but if they come like, hey man, your voice is incredible. I would love to hear you sing this. I'm like, well, if I could do it, I will.
Right. Same here.
Yeah, but if I can, and I feel comfortable, and I got a band behind me and stuff like that.
But I'm not going to half-ass a song.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other thing too is like, but if you
just pull it up on your iPad. I get that from the crowd all the time. Just pull it up on your iPad. Well, first of all, do you see a fucking iPad? Just pull it up on your phone. I see people. That's another fucking goddamn thing. Oof.
We might be the same fucking person, bro. Every time I see a band up there with a fucking like stand with their iPad on it or their phone out and they're like flipping through lyrics, I want to like, dude, you should be castrated. Like that, you shouldn't have your descendants should be wiped from the earth.
I don't care what anybody else does. My problem is it makes my job harder because now people think that's the norm.
Yeah.
People out there just think that because you have so many dipshits that are out there playing songs they don't know, they're just pulling them up because they're good enough to fake it.
That's Nashville.
It's everywhere.
That's everywhere in Nashville.
It's fucking everywhere in the
prolific.
United States. It's everywhere you go.
Yeah.
So you know, I have an iPad. I used to have an iPad on stage all the time because I ran sound with it.
Right.
And I always had 2 or 3 songs that I didn't quite have all the lyrics down that I would look up. I would read those lyrics.
Right.
But once I would use it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I would delete that off the thing.
Right.
Because I'm not using it as a crutch. I want to perform these songs. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. Until you know the song, you can't perform the song.
Right.
You can play the song.
Right.
But you can't perform it.
Right.
And when magic happens on a song is when you got it down so good you can start trying new things with it.
Yeah.
That's when the magic happens.
Or when your drummer or your bass player can watch you and just know what's coming. That has to be like, I don't think a lot of people. So this is a big fight me and my wife always had. Like this is, I'm not trying to put her on blast. I actually love her, but she had this problem where if she didn't see it get done, she would assume it wasn't done or it wasn't a thing that was happening. So because like I'm a musician, I spend all my time with the kids, raising kids and stuff. That she goes to work and I work at night. That's the trade off. So when I'm raising the kids, and a lot of men do this too. Like they would do it to their wives and stuff like that. They're like, well, because I didn't see you working all day long and doing stuff, doing this and that, you'll assume that none of that happened. You just sat there. And you know what I'm saying? Like I had a buddy, his wife did the same thing. He ran a muffler shop and she just assumed he like as soon as she wasn't there, you know, because he owned a muffler shop, that like nothing was happening. And you know, and he's like, you barely working. I'm like, I just had 35 cars in here. Anyways, the point is like a lot of that people don't understand that like when you get to stage, your stuff is polished. My stuff is polished. Yes. You better know that I put 110% in this. I practice every single day. I work every single day. You can see this. You can see my calluses. I mean, I work and I'm working and working and working and working and working. And then when I get on stage, it's okay to request stuff. I'm not saying don't request stuff.
Absolutely. Please.
But I don't be upset if it doesn't come.
And that's the thing I'm saying. I'm not saying don't come ask me. If you want to come ask me for something in the orange, I'm not going to get mad at you.
Yeah.
But if I say I don't know it and you fucking give me some look like, what? You don't know it, or pull it up on your iPad, then I'm going to lose it.
Yeah, I'm going to be
and that's the problem, dude. That's why I got to get out of that environment because it's happening more and more to me.
Right.
Now, what I've started saying now is, so I'm not just being a dick to them. I started saying now, I was like, listen, for the last 3 years, I'm a full-time touring musician, and I'm writing and releasing my own music.
Yeah.
And so I spend all my time writing, and so I don't learn new songs anymore. I don't learn new covers.
Right.
Like I know like 3,000 cover songs, and that's enough for me to do my job.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not learning anymore. Like I'm spending my energy writing my own stuff, and most of the time I'll say it to the crowd, and then that'll eliminate that.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, if you want to ask, but I also stopped asking, what do you guys want to hear now? I stopped that shit. No. Even though I know so many songs.
Yeah.
I just stopped.
I don't ever ask that. I don't ever ask that.
I'm actually what I'm gonna start doing, starting very, very soon, is I'm just gonna start doing everything to a set list.
Yeah. It's crazy that you don't do a set list.
I've never done a set list.
Wow.
Even in my,
Jack
we
White.
do for the full band stuff now, but even like I used to have a cover band called the Elroys, and for years and years and years we were one of the bigger bands in Houston, and we would play 4-hour like party shows, like just fucking rock shows, whatever, and we never did a set list.
So you got a talk back mic, and you just like said, "This is what we're doing."
Just call it out.
Damn, dude. That's
what I do, and I still do this with the band now. I do everything in 3 song sets. Meaning, if I play song A, we all know that B and C are coming up.
100%.
So I'll be, so we'll do that set, and then I'll judging on the crowd, I'll be like, all right, let's do this one song, and then they know the next 2 songs, so the transitions are tight, everything's good.
Right.
That's the way I do it, and it works out great. It really does work out great because we're not playing the same set every night. Because I get that complaint a lot from staff members, like, I love so and so, but man, I know exactly what they're gonna play every time they come here.
Yeah, you work here. That's not everyone though.
But still, you're never gonna get that in my show.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's good too, man. I dude, because like, you've been doing it for so long, you understand. Like, you get off that stage and like, you know what these people need to hear at this exact moment? Bam, they need to hear this. I tell them that drives my band nuts.
Or
But I'm like, I
sometimes
don't give a shit.
Sometimes it's I need to play this.
Yeah. Oh, dude.
Sometimes I'm about to do this for me.
That too. Dude, sometimes like my I love my guitar player. He's awesome. Like if you're Kid Carter is what we call him, but he's great. He'll play these licks on guitar, and I just love him. I just love him, and he already. That's what he's prepared for. You know, he's already prepared. I'm like, bro, just play that again because I want to hear it. I mean, I think it's so damn good. And he just looks at me like, I get okay. He just plays like I feel bad for him, but I don't feel bad for him because I'm the boss. You do what I tell you.
Yeah.
And
my name's on the fucking t-shirt.
Exactly, bitch. Is your name on the t-shirt Kid Carter? It isn't. That's such a dick thing to say. Well, he's actually
It is a dick thing to say.
Such a dick.
But it's also funny if you. But man,
it's a
also, dude, if you're gonna be in my band,
yeah.
you cannot be sensitive.
Oh my god, dude.
We bust so much balls, bro.
So, bro, like I did oil field for like 3 years, bro.
I did it for 10.
Did you really, dude? So that's how it'll get. Like, yeah, there's like it's nothing but dick jokes and like just
Ball busting.
dude. It's just ball busting, brother. And if you think I think that's why the majority of guys don't make it in the oil field. It's because they get all sensitive. Shit.
Yeah.
It ain't the hard work. I mean, the work's kind of hard, and the long hours are pretty terrible. But that's the ball busting. I've seen like grown men like. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
it's calm down, bro.
And the pranks and
Oh
all
my
that
God,
shit, dude.
It's horrific stuff like
It's
that.
great.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
But also, I wasn't raised a giant fucking pussy.
Stop being a bitch.
You know what I mean? Like I was like, you know, I had 2 brothers and I
Yeah.
had a bunch of cousins and we
Yeah.
had a bunch of friends and we were
Yeah.
all boys.
Yeah.
No girls were around and we just beat the shit out of each other.
Dude, that's something else was in our society, dude. Do you remember like you used to like with your boys, you'd get in a fight, like a fist fight, like
Yes.
dragged out and be like, all right, man, get up.
Yeah.
All right, bro, you good? I'm
And then we're all good.
And we're all fucking
Oh,
good,
yeah.
brother. That shit, I can't even imagine that happening in society right now, dude. Like, I can't even
It happens.
imagine.
My son just did one of his fucking best friends and fucked him up in school and like, God damn, you couldn't wait till you got home. He lives next door. Dipshit.
Just go between the houses, whip each other's ass for a minute.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the case. And everybody's got so sensitive and,
my
and
God,
everybody's so
so-
offended. And
Yeah.
dude, I don't have any room for that. I don't have any time for that.
No.
It doesn't enter my brain.
Yeah, and it shouldn't, bro. It shouldn't,
I
bro.
mean, there's certain things when I'm on stage I'm not gonna say. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna use homophobic slurs. I'm not gonna use I'm not gonna say retard on stage. I'll say it on here.
Yeah.
You know, but it's always in
Yeah.
like a
just joke.
comical
Yeah,
kind of
well,
way.
it's a
you know?
joke, guys.
Yeah, there's
We're like-
no,
yeah.
and that's what we got. That's is it coming from malice or is it coming from poking fun?
No, it's
Because I'm never coming from point of malice, dude. Ever.
I'm gonna go a step further. That we're the people that are bringing that shit up. It's not coming because they actually give a shit. It's like my aunt has Down syndrome, and I love her to pieces. She's my favorite. I say retard all the time, dude. It's coming from a place of self righteousness. Like
Yeah.
someone wants to feel like they're the self righteous. I'm such a good person.
virtue
because
signaling.
I was offended by this. I was just like stop clutching your pearls, bub. Nobody gives a shit.
Nobody
Like,
gives a fuck.
dude. It does not. No one gives a. All the fucks, 0 fucks were given, and they don't care. That's the thing that kills me. It'd be one thing if you actually gave a shit. You don't give a shit. You do not give a shit. You want to feel righteous.
Right.
You want to feel like you're the one that really feels it deep.
And let me tell you something. If you really want to feel righteous, if you really want to feel good about yourself, go volunteer at a fucking food bank.
Yeah.
Go volunteer to rebuild your neighborhood's playground. Go down, go give coats to homeless people. There are so many things that you could do
Right now.
to
Right now. Here.
that are
In
very
America.
easy, that are very fucking easy to
Yeah.
do, that people really fucking need. Let me tell you something. There's not a homeless person on the planet that needs someone to come on a podcast and call them houseless people or whatever the new term is that
Yes, sir.
you can't say homeless anymore.
Yes, sir.
Nobody gives a fuck about that. What they give a fuck about is you going down and giving them blankets. Go down. If you really give a fuck,
Yeah.
go give them blankets.
Yeah.
Go give them clean hypodermic needles.
Yeah.
Go pick them up and take them to a methadone clinic. Like, go do something that will actually fucking help them.
I'd listen to him. Just
Yeah.
talk to him.
Or listen to him.
Just fucking talk to him.
Yeah.
All right, dude. And if that ain't hardcore enough with you, there's open slave markets in Yemen right now. You can buy a boat, get yourself some people, and go free slaves right now in Yemen. That's not a joke. That's not a I'm making this
But
up.
they don't want to do shit that they don't want to do shit where they got to do something. They only want to do something they
risk-
got to say something.
or risk anything.
Right.
God, who said it? This is a brilliant quote. It's like, it's it's cheap. They call it cheap virtue. It's not cheap virtue. I'm butchering it, but like there was a guy talking about if you don't risk anything, there's no virtue. There's zero virtue in it, and that's what it is. It's mainly rich white girls who have nothing better to do with their lives, who haven't sacrificed anything, and they feel like they really need to. They really need to like. I have a cause, and I think that's great. I think we're actually here for causes. Like I 100% believe.
But know what you have a cause about.
Exactly.
If you're walking down the fucking street and you have a sign that says "Queers for Palestine,"
you don't even know what
you have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
They'll kill you.
I tell you what, take that sign and go to Gaza and walk down the fucking road. We're carrying that sign and tell me how long you fucking live.
If you let me videotape it, I'll pay for the ticket.
I will. I'll pay for the I'll pay for the ticket without you letting me videotaping it, just to get your dumb ass out of here.
Dude,
but it's not just the left though.
Yeah. Oh
it's
no,
not just the left.
100%, dude. Like, well, like one thing that I'm a very, very big proponent of is like I'm obviously, this is going to be controversial, very anti-slavery. You know, I know that's that's controversial, but like there's people that are like literally, like I said, there are people in slavery. There are little people in like, you know, not to put on blast, but you can go to like there's freaking like truck stops with like women and doing prostitution. A lot of times they're underage. That's human trafficking. You can go right there. But the problem is if you actually go to those places, you might get beat up by a pimp.
Yeah.
And that's a real possibility.
Or you might actually learn something.
Yes.
And that's what they don't want to do. They don't want to actually learn something.
Well, because it requires humility. And true righteousness requires humility. Yeah. And they want to feel righteous. My grandpa used to say this shit all the time. He loved woodworking. My grandfather fucking loved woodworking, man. Every time I go into, and I loved my grandfather. Not a joke, dude. He's the greatest man I've ever met in my entire life. I would go into his garage in Lake Charles, Louisiana, and I would be like, "Can I help?" And he would say the same two questions. He goes, "Do you want to help, or do you want to feel like you're helping?" He'd say it to me all the time.
That's good questions.
He would say, "Do you want to help, or you want to feel like you're helping?" Because I'm a 6-year-old boy. How much can I actually help with woodworking? And I would say, I want to help. And he would put me on the worst thing ever, sanding. You know, like I hate sanding, dude. Like, but for my grandpa, I wouldn't mind. One time I said, I want to feel like I help. Because we'll just sit right there and tell me what to do. And I'd be like, do you want me to drill this? I'm like, sure. And he goes, cool.
Well, that's what we need. We need more of that, man. We need more of leadership from our elders, more wisdom, sent down. You know, because like the best things I know are things that I learned that were brought down. I mean, I know how to fish because of my grandpa and because of my dad. I know how to hunt because of my stepdad and because of his dad. I know how to do certain things that are amazing because of people that are older than me that I listen to. I didn't think, but this, we're not there anymore, man. Society is not there. And here's the deal. We have two choices, right? Mm-hmm. We can sit here and we can fucking do this podcast and we can bitch and we can moan and we can complain about it, which is what I've been doing for the last 3 weeks.
We're going to do that. Don't worry.
That's what I've been doing on social media for the last 3 weeks is kind of complaining about where I'm at in my career. Uh-huh. I've been kind of having a little nervous breakdown. But I've made up my mind starting yesterday. That's over. It's done. It is where it is.
Yeah.
It is where it is.
Yes.
We are where we are. And there's nothing we can do about what got us here. Uh-huh. The only thing we can do is try to figure out ways to make it better moving forward. Mm. And so you have to ask yourself, what can I do? What can I do to make these situations better? Not what can I get someone else to do? What can I talk someone else to? What can I talk down to someone to make them stop doing what they're doing?
That's exactly right.
What can I do to make this better? So now I'm looking at with the music industry.
So what is that for you? What are you looking at that you can like do?
Well, part of the thing I can do is I can stop bitching and moaning and complaining about people that use iPads and not use an iPad. And then start normalizing for the people that are around me to not use an iPad. I can stop that. I can stop playing overplayed cover songs at my shows. That way people stop asking me for overplayed cover songs at my shows. I can cut out 3-hour venues and just focus on doing artist shows and stop bitching about having to do the 3-hour shows. Like it's just, you go down and it doesn't matter. We can do that in society. You know, if you're, like I said earlier, if your playground's run down in your neighborhood, you can bitch about it. Or you can go down to Home Depot and you can buy a little bit of equipment and you can go down and you can clean that fucker up.
Right.
right?
Right.
It's that simple. Just like the border. We can bitch and moan and we can complain about the federal government not fixing it. They're not going to fix it.
Right.
The Republicans don't want it fixed. The Democrats don't want it fixed.
Yeah.
Because if you fix it, you eliminate a voting block. You eliminate
Something for you to get upset about.
yeah, you
that I can
eliminate
exploit.
right. You eliminate an issue. You eliminate a big issue. Same thing with go down the fucking list with all of the big issues. If you make weed legal, then you're giving the Democrats a win. And whatever happens, you cannot get. And so this last bill that the Democrats had, I didn't read it. I don't know what it said, but from what I understand, it pretty much was a bipartisan bill that gave the Republicans everything they wanted, and the Republicans still voted against it because they cannot give the other side a win. But if we will stop bitching and moaning and complaining about it, and if you really feel that strongly about it, then volunteer and go down there and fucking stand guard.
Or help. Or at least if
Or
you're on the
help.
other side of it, give them hand out some donuts or something. I don't know.
Whatever
you
you're going to do, just go help.
You know what's funny that you say that, because I was one thing that I do in my live show that like would drive me nuts is like I had a real problem with like going to shows because I went to a lot of shows. I don't like when people don't dress nice on stage. It's one of my biggest pet peeves. And it's like, we don't, like, you dress nice when you're on the stage. Would you look good? Like, not suits or nothing like that. Though I'm thinking about it. Because I love that old country style where, like, people had nudie suits and everything like that.
Oh, yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, those are dope as fuck, bro. They're like, you cannot beat that stuff. But you're right, though. That's what you got to do. Like, if you want to hear some badass music, we'll go write that badass music and play it, and whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
There's some freedom in that, man. There really is some, like, for you to go, like, well, look, man, this is, you know what? I think this is what should be done, and maybe people come, maybe they don't. And that's what it is.
Well, you know what got me started that was
Yeah, I'm interested. Like, I'm actually was going to ask you that. Like, what got you down this road?
what got me down the road was I did a test.
Okay.
And I had this perception of being overly critical and kind of
You had that perception.
I had
of yourself or other
people had that perception of me.
Okay, got you.
Right. But I go back and I'm looking on my Facebook and I'm kind of looking at the way I handle things, and I never really give a compliment and I never really talk about anything positive. Like, I really look into what I'm doing. Well, so I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to post one positive thing every day, no matter what. And so I started doing these things called artist spotlights. Okay. And I only did like 65 or 66 of them, but I did them every day for that many straight days. And I'm like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to normalize building other artists up.
Yeah.
Instead of my page being me all the time, this is what I'm going to do. And this was about a year ago when I did this test. And so I did. I started this artist spotlight. I'd go down. I would like talk about something they did, and it'd be a good paragraph on why you should go follow this artist.
Damn.
And I did like 64, 69, something like that, in the 60s. And that opened up so many doors for me. Like, so many other artists like started telling me this is really awesome. And I actually got nominated for the Texas Country Music Association's Professional of the Year because of this, because I've been doing such a great job of building other artists up and giving them a platform and sharing my fan base with them, which is something I've always done, but it's always been at shows, right? I've always gotten people on stage. I've always gotten people to open up for me that I would want to see succeed, as opposed to just whoever the venue let open up for me. And it's just opened up so many doors. And then the next thing I did, so that I kind of got addicted to it, right? And so
It's a good thing to be addicted to, though.
Right. So the next thing I did was like, okay, how can I let artists that I don't know that I'm supporting them? Well, so I was like, I know a way. So I started this Jeff Canada's Weekly Jams playlist.
Nice.
And the cool thing about Spotify is on your Spotify for Artist app, you can go in and see what playlist your songs are on. Right?
Yep.
So if you go to Spotify, the Spotify for Artist app, you can go look, and one of your songs, you can see if it's on a playlist or not.
Yeah.
And so every week, what I do is I go through my release radar, and the stuff I really like, I put on this playlist.
Badass.
And then I delete. Then on Fridays, I delete all those songs and I do it again. And then every day I post today's featured song on the Jeff Canada Weekly playlist. And now I got like 66 followers on that playlist. I'm trying to grow that playlist.
Oh, nice.
But a lot of these artists have seen that I'm putting their stuff, and they personally reached out to me to thank me. And that opens another door. Right. So just doing that selfless act that I wanted to do, it's now, but it's also become a little selfish now. It's actually started working out in my favor, which is okay. That's what you need. If you can find that equation that does something for you while doing something for someone else, that's magic, bro.
So there's a great saying, I forget who said it. It says, talent isn't afraid of talent. And if you fancy yourself a talent, you fancy yourself a great artist, you're not going to be scared of a great artist. I hear great artists and I'm like, that's insane.
That's insane.
When I said next, I was like, I'd never heard of Peyton Howie. Next year I was like, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah.
This is incredible. And now I'm a huge fan. And now my kids are listening to it. My wife loves her and everything like that. And I'm just like, dude, this is incredible. There's nothing there. There's no dishonor. Like another thing my grandpa said all the time, he goes, when someone gives you compliments, if there's any way to give credit to anyone else, like if anyone helped out with anything like that,
Give it.
any other person, just immediately give it. And that's the best way to receive a compliment. So if someone's like, dude, your song was incredible. Well, yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Also, the co-writer on that was this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's nothing. And
That's good advice.
It's well,
I've never heard that before, but
dude,
it's great advice.
if there's any way that you can possibly give just a nod to anyone else, just do it. Just do it. And it's a great way. Thank you. Hey, just so you know, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's a great way to do it. And plus, dude, people are just dude, you're right, man. We were talking about this before, but like people are just drowning for someone to show kindness. Dude, they would just love it. They would just love it if someone would be freaking kind to them and just. So you want to know something weird I do all the time, and I talk about this, like my band hates this. They absolutely hate this. But like if anyone comes up and says, "Can I sing with you?" Anyone, and I'm dead serious. I'm like, yeah, whatever. What song? If I know it, you know what I'm saying. If it's like a song that I'm saying, I'm like, yeah, you can absolutely do it with me, because I don't know. Maybe they're incredible. Maybe there's this great singer that would just love all they've ever wanted was just to get up on a stage. Like me, man, when I was a kid, dude, I would have killed for someone to show any kind of like interest in me playing music. I would have killed for it.
I used to do that, but it burned me so many times.
Oh yeah. Well, see, I see it two ways. Like one way, either they're incredible and everyone's like, "This is great," and they get that joy. Or if they're terrible, then they just go, "Oh, I wasn't as good as I thought." Maybe they can learn a little bit from it. But I gave them a shot. Hell, man.
No, it's cool. I won't do it. Not anymore.
Yeah.
It's happened to me too many times.
Really? What happens?
Usually what it is, it's some rich person that's got his friend there, and they're like, "Hey, I'll give you $100, my friend, get up and do a song." And I'm like, "Oh, fuck yeah, I'll take it.
Oh,
let's go."
Oh, well, I've never had that.
But now I won't. Now, if somebody I know that's decent shows up to a show,
oh, 100%
I always ask if they want to do a song.
I love. There's this girl.
Well, it depends on the show. Like if I'm playing Do-Si-Do, for example, the big
Okay.
barn, I'm not gonna let somebody else get on stage. It's just not gonna happen. But if I'm playing,
I would have to work it out before. I would have to I wouldn't do that if I was like, if they didn't know. I certainly want to do it if they weren't. I'm like, "Hey, why don't you get up here?" You see that in the movies and stuff like that. "Why don't you get up here and sing a song?" I would be like, no. I'm not even.
or like all the plants the big guys use and just to get the TikTok videos.
Yeah,
they're
yeah.
fucking plants.
Yeah, they're
dude.
100. Now that is like but see, buddy, that's disingenuous and that's using people. Did you ever do any kind of like the American Idol or anything voice? You ever done that? I did that. I don't know if you know that. I 100% did that. I did the X Factor. I was on.
Oh, cool.
So I went up and I was never actually on the show. I was in Denver, Colorado. They started with 9,000 people, and I got down to the last 300 people and stuff like that. I didn't end up going on the show, but you want to talk about crap that'll shake your faith in humanity. Watching that stuff, people grindhouse those people that have dreams and hopes and just where they use them. And dude, they'd have people get up there with the worst singing voice you've ever heard.
Oh, dude.
Just like, and like, yeah, you made it through. Go ahead. And you would just, dude.
Yeah, they're
I
doing
got
it just for
sick.
views. Yeah.
I got sick, dude, like seeing that crap. I was like, dude, I'm not about this stuff. And I started asking questions about the contract because I actually write my own songs. So they were like, "Oh, you got questions about like why I want to own all your stuff?" "Yeah, you shouldn't be on the show." And they were like, "Yeah." So I didn't end up signing it.
Well, that's what I told Peyton. So Peyton Riley is a young artist. I don't know if you heard her or not.
I love her.
Okay.
What an angel of a girl she is, dude. She's so
great.
good, dude.
And so I'm kind of a mentor to her, and I've become really good friends. They're like family now, and her and I talk all the time, and I give her advice.
She's a little sweetheart, bro.
And so the night she was trying out for American Idol, she was in Nashville. Well, I was in Nashville that same weekend or the same week tracking a song, and so I get a text message from her mom, and she's like, "Yeah, Peyton's really upset." And I said, "Well, we're hanging out at the local. Bring her over here." And so she came over, and I just pulled her to the side, and I was like, "Listen, the best thing that could have happened to you is for them to tell you no.
Hell yeah.
Like I said, the light of that show is not bright enough for you.
Mm-hmm.
And you have a great career ahead of you. You're not there yet. You still got a lot to work on. You're 15 years old. Your voice hasn't matured. There's a lot you got to work on, but you're already leaps and bounds people that are fucking double and triple your age.
Yeah.
Like,
she has a work ethic. That's the biggest thing.
she so does.
Dude,
And
she's great.
Both Peytons. And I was just like, so did you just look at this as a learning experience and a blip?
Yeah.
And are you going to go back? No, you're not going to go back.
Hell no.
Fuck no.
Dude.
Because they own everything you do. I mean, dude, I got a friend, Sundance Head. He's a friend of mine. That won the Voice season, whatever, won the whole fucking thing.
Yeah, some of the T3R. I've never heard him before that, but he's awesome.
Just great dude.
Great voice.
And he's a great dude. Great guy. And he won the whole fucking thing. And he's playing the same rooms I'm playing. Like, it's just, and then they owned him for so long that it like, he wasn't able to really capitalize on any of that shit,
That's exactly right.
And so it's just, and again, another thing, I've already said it once on this podcast. I've said it a million fucking times on this podcast. Art is not a competition. Battle the bands are fucking stupid. And The Voice and all that other stuff, it's just big national battle of the bands. That's all it is, man. That's all it is. And radio number ones is a big fucking money and popularity contest is all it is.
It is.
It's not about the art. The art should stand on its own.
Right.
That's why I say all the time, I don't give a fuck. I would much rather play a show that has 1,500 people that are having a great time than win a fucking Grammy.
Yeah.
That's just the way I feel about it. And, I've retracted that a little bit because of a conversation that Linda Wilson had to me. She's the president of the TCMAs. She was like, well, those awards aren't for you. Those awards are for your fans. And whenever you say something like you don't give a shit about the awards, it's a slap in the face for the fans.
Because they give a shit.
Because they give a shit. And so I kind of hope I win this Professional of the Year award. I think it'd be cool to win that.
Yeah.
I think it's very fucking weird that Jeff Canada and Professional of the Year are in the same sentence. But I'll take it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It'll be
absolutely.
something else that I can put on the mantle, and just be something else that I could say that I accomplished.
Yeah.
And
Well, the T3R, when I did the Future Faces that night, I was absolutely shocked by that crap. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll play that stuff. It was great. But it's got me talk to great people, stuff like that. That one of the people there,
But see, this is what drives me crazy about the radio. Okay, this is what drives me absolutely fucking insane about the radio. I know guys that have 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9 number ones in Texas. And those guys can't sell 10 tickets to a show.
Yeah, I've noticed that too.
But yet me, somebody who's never even had a top 20, my highest one I think was 48, I think. I think it might have broken the top 40s. I can't remember. But yet I can go anywhere in this state now and bring out at least 10 people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, what's crazy too is you're talking about the whole social media stuff. What's nuts is when you start seeing these guys that have like 100,000 followers, and you're like, "Oh, cool. Let me click on their followers," and it's like Huang Changqing 347, Huang Changqing 5555. You're like,
yeah. I got 15,000 followers on Spotify. I got 13,000 on Instagram.
Right.
I'm sure there's some bots in there. I'm sure there is because you just can't keep it out.
100%.
But every time I find one, I just block them because I don't want them.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with paying.
pointless.
Same thing with paying for spins.
Yeah.
There's a particular artist. I will not say their name, but they went from 2,000 monthly listeners to over 50,000 monthly listeners in a week, in one fucking week. Okay.
how does that happen?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it'd be one thing if you
Or how do you have?
get onto a list
Or here's
and
another
playlist
thing.
and like people are discovering your music and stuff like that. But
Right.
gotta be followers though, man. The followers matter. That's what followers matter.
Right, and that's another thing. So you'll go to like somebody's Spotify and they got 100,000 monthly listeners, but you go to their Instagram and they got 3,000 monthly. You got 3,000 followers.
Yeah, that's actually like
Whereas all mine, it's like I got 15 on I got 15,000 on Facebook. I got 13,000 on Instagram. I only have 3,000 on TikTok because I don't really do TikTok that much. But I have 10,000 monthly listeners on Spotify.
Absolutely.
So they're all about the same thing because it's an actual organic fan base.
or Vince Gill was saying that just because something's successful doesn't mean it's good.
Right. I saw that.
And that
I
you
shared
said,
it yesterday.
yeah, well, that's probably where I
reposted
saw
it.
it. Yeah. Well, I'm telling you right now, man, like that was very freeing for me because some of the greatest, dude, I was talking about this one other day. There's this dude named, I was talking about this with Cottontown Joe from, he plays guitar with Kylie Fry. Dude, they're very sweet people.
She's so great.
Dude, they're insane. Like if you are not listening to them, definitely should. They're great. But I was talking with him and I was saying, dude, you know, there's some of this guy named Nick Drake. Do you know who Nick Drake is? He wrote Pink Moon. He was like as if I'm remembering the story correctly, this is how it was told to me. So if I'm messing up, definitely correct me. But what I understand is like he was very young, like 25, just very disheartened by the music industry. He was writing songs from his heart, and he was absolutely like nothing was hitting, and it broke his heart because he believed it was this great stuff that he wanted to share. Ends up killing himself, and then the next year, like his album comes out and just blew up, and so there's something like I've never been to the point of like suicide or nothing like that, but like there's been times where I've written songs and I'm like, this song means something. It really does. And I'm like, this got to be great. And then it just falls flat. And you're like, I don't know.
But it's not falling flat because of the song.
Right.
It's falling flat because of society. I
Yeah.
mean, you just got to
Or it's
think.
before its time, or it's timing, man.
It's not even that. Listen, this is the way you have to look at everything.
Give it to me.
And this is what keeps me sane.
Okay.
And I don't remember who it was that I had in here that talked about it. Oh, it was Jack Nelson, but I couldn't get his interview fucked up because the camera fucked up. I'm going to get him back in here again. He said, how'd he say it? What were we talking about? Don't do drugs, kids.
Vince Gill, just because it's successful doesn't mean it's good. What keeps you sane?
And maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was somebody else. No, you know who it was? It was, we did air it. It was Luke Prater. Luke Prater he said, you know, the way is every content you release, every song you release, every video you release, every Facebook post, every Instagram, TikTok, everything you release, you got to look at every one of those as buying a lottery ticket. And that's the only way you can look at it. And you can't get upset when you don't win the lottery. You just got to go buy more tickets.
Yeah.
And that's the way you have to look at it because 100,000 songs are being released on Spotify every day.
Right.
And how many Facebook posts are made every day? How many Instagram posts are made every day? How many Oliver Anthony guys are going out and recording a song out in the fucking wilderness and releasing them to TikTok every day?
Yeah, and nothing comes of them.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's so you can't really have any expectations of anything taking off. If not, you will fucking drive yourself crazy.
You will. You absolutely will. I first heard Ryder Grimes, man. That guy is insane.
Killer.
Dude. He's a murderer. When I first heard him, I'm like, if this guy ain't in the #1 spot in like a month, and dude, but he's just incredible. He's just
great.
incredible.
And he's also got money behind him too, which is really good.
Well, that's very helpful. But I just played something with him the other day, and dude, he's just what a sweetheart of a guy.
He's
dude.
not too good for anything. He doesn't act. And that's another goddamn thing. That just fucking drives me up the walls, dude. Listen, if you're already there. If you're already William Clark Green and higher, if you're already selling 1,500 tickets, you act however the fuck you want to act, bro. You're already making a good living.
Don't listen to that. Be cool to your fans.
Well,
for God's sake.
Yeah, obviously be cool to your fans, but all I'm saying is do you, boo.
Yeah,
like whatever. If you want to act like a fucking dipshit, act like a dipshit.
Yeah.
If you want to throw a fucking chair out of the 4th story of Eric Church's new venue, you do you, man. You do you. Whatever the fuck, right? But if you're under that, if you're on my level, I don't know where you're at, but if you're on my
under your level.
I don't really look at it as
no, it's fine.
levels, but it's like if you're under if you're selling under 500 tickets anywhere you go.
Yeah.
Stop with the fucking diva shit, bro. Stop it. I've seen guys that fucking can't sell 10 tickets that act like they're Beyonce, bro.
So which stuff I would have said not on camera.
I've seen it,
dude. I've seen it too, man.
And I've lost friendships because of it, because I call them out about it.
Yeah, knock that shit off.
Yeah, knock it off, dude.
Right the fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
I don't understand doing it. Especially don't understand doing that to your fans. Like of all
That's what I'm talking about.
Like it's one thing you treat, and I've seen people treat their like we're talking people that are not
their
like
camp.
It's people that are like, I wouldn't say are like household names, and they go out there and at least they treat their fans right. But then you see them treat their support, their roadies, they treat their management like they're like, like they have syphilis or something like that, and they don't touch me, like asshole people. But when you see it, they do that, and then they're shitty to their fans. I'm like, bro, that's like, say, hey, I just built this giant ass mansion. I'm gonna light this bitch on fire. I'm gonna put a little spark.
Well, that's the
You're
problem
like,
is,
why are you doing that?
but
dude?
most
I
of those guys
get it.
don't have fans. They don't have real fans.
What are you talking about?
They don't have real fans because they're not out really doing it. You know, they're getting their number ones, and some people found them on the radio, and they're cool, but they don't have like real, true fan bases.
Yeah.
The only way to build a real fan base, I'm talking about a real
Super
fan
fan
base
stuff, kinda?
I'm just talking about like fans that are going to drive 3 hours to come see you.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
The only way to do that is to be out playing live shows and be a cool motherfucker.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not going to get it from being on TikTok. You're not going to get it
That's
from being
exactly
on Facebook. You're not going to get it from getting number ones on radio. The only way to build those type fans is if, and so
Constantly.
and that's why those guys can't sell 10 fucking tickets because they're just not, even when they're out, they're not doing the things that they need to be doing.
just
And again,
assholes, dude.
here I am going back into my old fucking way of just bitching about it when what I'm doing from now on, I'm not bitching about it anymore. I'm not saying another fucking word about it anymore. Like, I don't care. You do you. You handle your business however you want to handle your business. But what I'm going to do, what Jeff Canada is going to do, is when I go to a venue, I'm going to treat every person in that venue like they're the owner.
Yeah.
I'm going to treat every
cool
venue
again.
at that
Yeah.
person like they're a super fan.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all kinds of things because, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to find other artists that are doing the same thing, and
Yeah.
I'm going to shed that light on
Yeah.
those artists.
Let that little shine,
And I'm not going to do things. I had one artist that reached out to a friend of a friend and was like, why is Jeff Canada not doing an artist spotlight on me yet? Well, that's why. The fact that you had to ask that question is why I've never done an artist spotlight on you.
Why wouldn't he just call you? Why would you just be like, hey, man, look, I don't know you don't know my stuff.
Why even
Humbly.
ask? Why even fucking ask? Why even worry about it? Like, why even fucking care? Don't fucking worry. How about you just be a good human?
Yeah, and I'll
And then
find
Jeff
you.
Canada will do an artist spotlight on you
There you
or
go.
something else.
Yeah.
Be a good human first. Worry about being a good human first, and everything else will fall into place, bro.
And the putting in the work through, like there's a lot of that stuff where I maybe we just come from different old school backgrounds. In Louisiana, man, you had to work your ass off just to get your daily bread.
Yeah,
So like,
same here.
so when you come up in, like, for me, it's very. I thought for sure when I first started doing music, like, so I had no clue how to do this. So for 10 years, I played music as a professional artist. I played music on street corners in Colorado, and every single day I'd go out 3 hours a day,
Yeah.
and just sing my guts out, break strings, every freaking thing because it was so cold out, fingers freezing to death because I wanted to be an artist and I didn't know how to do it. So only thing I knew what to do was go where someone's going to hear me.
Yeah.
That's it.
Put your ass in front of people.
Exactly. And listen, man, I'm not saying like I'm.
If you want asses,
I wanted it.
If you want asses and seats in front of you,
Right.
you have to go put your ass in a seat in front of them.
Yeah, that's 100%. And like, and I was amazed. I was always amazed. Like, so when I first put a band together, I was amazed by this, dude. We practice, and I go, cool. I booked us a show. It's a shitty little show. This tiny little place called Bushwhackers in Denver, Colorado. It's like maybe like $50. We're playing 45 minutes. Who gives a shit? We're just gonna be in front of people.
Yeah.
They all quit.
Bye.
And I'm like, and yeah, that's exactly how they're like, why did you quit? And then I came up with this saying, you can feel free to use this if you want. But I used to say this to all of them. I was like, I shouldn't have to drag you to your dream. I should not have to drag you to your dreams. Like that's
so good,
You
dude.
could put fucking barbed wire over the stage. I'm getting my ass on that
Yeah.
stage. You can't. There's nothing you can do to keep me from getting on that stage. I will fight you, bro. I will gladiator style fight you in the center stage, and then I would get up there and sing the songs that God put in my heart, and that's what's gonna happen.
100%, man.
And there's no way you can stop me. And dude, there's so many people where like you're just like, hey man, we got this show. I can't do that. Oh, well, you got something like is your leg fall off? Oh no, I want to take some vacation time. I'm like, bro, and that's why I'm super blessed to have the wife I have. My wife's like, anytime I got to go to play a show at any time, like you call me tomorrow and be like, hey, we got this show. What you want to call it? I'm like, yep. Yeah, 100%. You can't stop me from like you. There's nothing you can do to stop me. This is the only thing I've ever been good at, dude. What
Right.
you're looking at right now, playing music, writing music,
Being with people.
being with people, that's the only thing I've ever been. I've been fired from so many jobs, dude. Right? Not even joking, dude, for talking too much. Like, sitting there and just, oh, dude, you can't, or singing and stuff like that. I've been fired from tons of jobs. The only thing I've ever been good at was was welding, and I did the oil field and stuff like that. And then I got sick from welding, and I'm like, I had nothing else to do. I'm like, well, I'm gonna go play on the street corners. And so like I ended up donating a kidney. And that gave me 6 months. They gave me a great deal where I could. The place I was working gave me 6 months off for recovering because he was a big proponent of donating a kidney. So for 6 months, I'm like, what am I going to do with what I'm going to do? And I'm like, well, I'm going to write music. It's the only thing I've ever loved and stuff like that. So I just started playing songs on the street corner, and eventually people found me and they were like wanted to help out and stuff. And then I was like, well, what I really truly want is I want to move to Texas because I love Texas country music. I love Red Dirt, and that's where I'm from. Like, this is a part of the nation I'm from. I'm from Lake Charles, right on the Texas border. I love Texas. I always love Texas. So like, I'm like, this is where I want to be. This is where I believe it's going to happen in Fort Worth. And so you couldn't stop me. You can build a damn wall around
That's
Texas.
what I feel too.
Yeah.
I'm the same way.
Yeah, try and stop me from playing.
I'm going to go
music.
through, around, over anyone that gets in my way.
Exactly, and 100%.
But you know, my buddy Jack Nelson, he always says he always says it'll work itself out.
Mm-hmm.
It'll work itself out. There's an artist here in Houston that we kind of, I guess we kind of hit our stride at about the same time.
Oh, cool.
And I was opening for him, he was opening for me, and then he turns out he's a huge fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
And it's like I used to have a real big stigma, like not a real stigma. I used to have like this real big chip on my shoulder about it, where I talk shit about him every time I got a chance. Like fuck that guy, fuck that guy, fuck that guy. Mm-hmm. But all I really know is that all that did was hurt me.
Yeah.
All it did was hurt me. All it did was give somebody a negative impression about me when I said that. It didn't give a negative impression about him.
Even if you were right.
So
if you're
right. I know I'm right.
Yeah.
So I stopped.
I was there.
So I stopped. And from what I understand, this particular artist was at the T3R Awards, and he was sitting in a corner and nobody was even talking to him. And so it works itself out because when I walk in that room at the T3R Awards, when I walk in that room, I'm immediately surrounded by fucking rad-ass people.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to hang.
Yeah.
Or I want to hang. Like, we're all hanging with each other. So fuck him. Like, it worked itself out. It worked itself out.
I've been
and I'm sorry I brought that story up again. It's
No,
just,
it's right.
you know, it's like, that's an example of what I'm talking. It'll work itself out.
It's actually a positive thing if you think about it, because you're saying, don't worry about it, just shake it loose and just put the work in.
Yeah.
That's what I'm figuring out, bro. I just went through about.
But also, don't look at everything as ROI, a return on investment.
return on investment,
right?
yeah.
Don't look at that. I'm another example.
It's hard to do in music.
It is
bro.
very hard.
It's so freaking
but an
hard,
example,
bro.
right? We're doing the festival the other day.
Okay.
And I know, you know, it's Randy Rogers and Dylan Wheeler, myself. I'm on the side stage. Wayne Toops, Jason Michael Carroll. I mean, it was just a really cool lineup. Mm-hmm. And Wayne Toops was playing. And so I walk through the pit to get over to the merch table, and I notice a kid. He's sitting there, and it's bright. It's hot outside. He doesn't have a hat on. So I go to my merch booth, and I just grab a hat, right? And I tell Riley, hey, ring this hat up. Just put it as cash. Mm-hmm. Because that's what I do. I don't give stuff away. I ring it up and I put it as cash, and then I put my own money in there to
absolutely.
pay for it. So I bring it over to him, and I just walk by. I didn't say anything to him. I didn't do anything. I just walked by. I put the hat on his fucking head, and I just kept on fucking walking. Mm-hmm. Went backstage. I didn't think anything else of it, right? Yeah. It's over. It's done. Well, I did not do that for any other reason than I see a kid. He's like 10 or 11, and he's there sweating his ass off, and he doesn't have a hat. He doesn't have sunglasses. His dad's wearing a hat. His mom's got, like, you know what I mean? And that's it. That. I'm honest. I'm truly think that. I'm not thinking anything past that. Yeah. Well, so when I get up to play my first set on the side, we did 2 sets on the side stage. When I get up to my first set, I look out, and him and his dad and his mom, they're right over there with us.
Nice.
Right. And I thought that was cool. And then this other guy comes up to me, and he's got like 10 Jeff Canada hats and like some shirts. And he's like, hey, man, I saw what you did to that kid. So I went to your merch booth and I just bought a bunch of shit. Will you sign it? And I'm just going to go around and give it away to folks.
Dude, nice.
So I ended up so again, I didn't think about the ROI, but I made a huge ROI.
Right.
Because he went back, giving away that $30 hat.
Right.
Just made me another $300 or $400 at the merch table,
right?
And it made me a fan, multiple fans,
right?
All because I didn't do it. But if you're setting on your bus and you're not out with the fans and you're not out doing things. And I get it. When you're at a certain level, you can't do it anymore. I totally understand that. But when you can't, trust me, I've seen them. Like Randy Rogers cannot walk through that crowd. There's no fucking way.
Damn.
They will maul him.
But Dolly Parton's the same way, bro. Like, so Dolly Parton, like, she would sit for hours, people coming up to her. She's like, yeah, this is part of my life.
Well, and some people are like that.
Yeah.
I hear Garth Brooks is the same way. And that's fine. That's how I will be. I will be that way
I guarantee
the
I'll be
whole
that way.
time.
Yeah, 100%.
But all I'm saying, but if you're walking through life, if I'm looking at this from this perspective, hey, I'm going to give a hat away in hopes that someone goes and buys more merch, or in hopes that this kid becomes a fan of mine, or whatever the case may be.
Or God forbid you see that. You see a guy give away a hat and be like,
Yeah.
look around. Like,
Or they got the fucking video camera watching.
Oh,
it.
God,
Like,
dude. Oh.
All I'm saying is I did not, and I'm not saying I'm some great person. I just don't.
I'm saying it. I'm saying Jeff Canada's a great person.
Whatever, man. I'm just saying, like, I don't really, you
I
can't
get it,
think
dude.
of everything as ROI.
No.
Because there's just so many things that can come back to you just from being a good fucking human.
Or just do it to be a good fucking human.
Right.
You know, like just do it because it's a kindness. Dude, there's a great philosopher named Brother Lawrence. Is this Franciscan?
Get up on that mic a little
Oh,
bit.
sorry, Ref. Yeah.
You're good.
Anyways, he said, if I snatch but one piece of straw with the love of God from the ground, my entire life would have meaning. Like, it just to do something for one time for one person. I don't wonder. Dude, I think about this a lot. Like, I really like philosophy and stuff like that. Like big philosophy guy. So one thing I think about, like, what if your whole purpose on this earth is to do one tiny little kind thing and then drift away and no one will ever remember you ever again? Like, literally something as gentle as patting someone on the back and to encourage someone else to do something else, If that's the only reason you were born.
Or clapping for a fucking musician that you don't know.
Or following them on like Instagram or Facebook or something. No, dude. But if you think about that, that is a humbling thought.
Yeah.
Like, the only reason I'm here is to do one tiny little act of graciousness, of decency to a human being, or toward animal, or plant a tree. Dude, I don't know, man. I don't.
And do it when no one's watching.
Dude. It's
like that's the big thing. If you're up on stage preaching the Bible up on stage, do you, boo?
Yeah.
But if you get off stage and you're judgmental
You got your
and
shit
you're
back.
talking
Yeah.
shit about everybody and you're just a fucking cockfuck, like
a cockfuck.
then
It's a great.
then those words you just said on stage mean
jack
nothing.
shit.
And that's I'm not a religious person. Like, I'm not a Christian.
Yeah.
And so I was raised that way.
Yeah.
I was raised extremely not extremely religious, but definitely extremely right wing, ultra conservative Christian. And I'm not that way anymore. But most people, unless I tell them, they don't know that, because I still carry myself as if I am one.
Right.
Now, do I talk shit? Absolutely. Do I say fuck a lot? Yes, I do. Do I smoke weed? No, I don't smoke weed, but I eat the shit out of it. So, like, I definitely have flaws, right?
No, 100%.
But man, I don't judge people for what they're doing. As long as you're not hurting kids,
Yeah.
beating on women,
Yeah.
a thief.
Yeah, dude. Thieves is the hardest thing for me, bro.
Right.
And the beating women thing, that came off very wrong.
Yeah.
No,
That's where I put it, dude. I literally put
it's all over. Yeah.
messing with kids,
that's vile.
putting
shit,
your
dude.
hands on women,
Yeah.
and thief. Like, that's
Theft
really
is-
where
is
I put it.
I don't think people understand how absolutely evil it is.
It's fucking terrible,
to
dude.
steal from people. Like, I think about thievery all the time.
Well, your government does it to you every day.
Dude, and no, dude, I know. Right? It's absolutely disgusting. But like, taxation is theft, 100%. But the one thing that's absolutely crazy is to take something that someone has literally poured their heart and soul. Even worse, if that person is like an artisan and you take from them, bro. Do you understand? Like, someone stole one of my guitars when I was a kid, dude. It was like as a Gibson J100, dude. Stole that thing from me. They don't know what that was. To them, it was like what, $100 pawn. They don't know that was my aunt's guitar, and that's the only one thing they had, and that is irreplaceable.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like,
Cut their hands off. They should have their hands cut off. For one thing that the Arabian countries have right, they should cut someone's fucking hand off for stealing, brother.
Yeah.
They don't understand. Like, you will never understand. You will never understand what depths it can encourage someone to do one little act of kindness, and you will never also understand how much you can hurt a human being by just doing something that you think is light and not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen, dude. I heard of. I was at where was I at? I was in like Oklahoma, and some dude walked through Oklahoma. No one saw him do this, but he just walked around and stole the tips off of everyone's table and just walked out. and this woman was crying, and we came in, like she was crying, like she's a waitress, no money.
Yeah.
She's like, that was all I had to pay my rent. And to him, what he got, like $25, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But to her, that was everything that she needed. So I'm also like, I think about that a lot too, about like how easy it is to kill a human being. Like they'll have like a BB gun, not me kill a human being. Like they'll have like a BB gun, someone shoot a BB gun from like a half mile. Somehow it triggers, like they get hit in the eye and it causes an infection and they die or something like that. And then I'm also thinking about how some dude got shot like 6 times with a 45 and you're like, he didn't die.
Yeah.
Like it's insane how easy it is to kill a human and how hard it is to kill a human being,
You know the way you can't kill someone? Because I try it every day.
What's that?
You cannot make someone's car explode with your brain. I
trust
literally
me, and
try it every single day.
Do you understand how good it is that I don't have superpowers?
Oh, dude, if I would not be a good superhero.
When I was a kid, I used to think, I would be so great if I had superpowers. I'm like, no. If I had telepathy and someone cut me off, I'd be like, and you're in the ditch, and destroy their lives.
Yeah.
Destroy their
whatever.
lives. I would crush your knees with my mind.
Or like, what, Texas? We're going to block Pornhub and I can be invisible? Guess where I'm going to be hanging out now?
Dude, I'm telling you, man. There's so much. It makes so much sense that I'm not. You don't want me to be a superhero.
I don't know. I think if you were given those gifts just by talking to you, that you would probably use them for good.
Thank you. That's a very kind thing.
I feel the same way about myself.
Yeah. What? Yeah. I see. The thing is, like, I would overall use them for good, but there'd definitely be some moments where I'd slip up.
Yeah, I would definitely not even slip up, like purposely. Like
I would just there's some people that there's a lot of times where I think so you know what I loved about your list? Killing people wasn't on your list of the top 3. Is hurting kids, hurting women, and then theft. Dude, there's sometimes like
well, that's easy. Some people need to die.
That's a Clint
but
Eastwood,
no kid needs to get
that's
raped.
exactly right. Exactly. Like there's
no woman needs to get hit unless you come home and she's doing something bad to your kids,
drowning your children or something.
Yeah, exactly.
But like turn your hips into it. You know what I mean?
But if it's not that, like you know. And what it is I grew up seeing that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it's just one of those things that I would never do. I've never put my hands on a woman ever in my life.
Yeah,
unless they wanted me to. Yeah. And that's
a different story.
Yeah,
but I think it's a Clint Eastwood. Is it Clint Eastwood that said like some people just need killing?
Yeah.
And there's some people in this world that just need some killing. Dying isn't the worst thing in this world.
No.
Betrayal is the worst.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything more gut-wrenching and horrific than betrayal. And if you think about like molesting children, it's the same. That is betrayal. Yeah. Raping a woman, God forbid, or like using what power you have to harm someone is a betrayal of you having that ability. And I honestly believe betrayal to be betrayed is the worst thing in the entire world.
Yeah.
And once
if it's real betrayal. Like something like that.
Oh yeah. There's ways you've been like I've written songs for people and then steal them.
Yeah.
That's like them come to you and ask you to write a song for them.
That's theft and betrayal.
Yeah. And they were friends.
Yeah.
And instead of how hard would it just be like 50-50, like you know what I mean? I've had that happen, man. And you're just like I would have given you all of it to have a good friend.
Right. Well, that's the same thing I say about a thief all the time.
Right.
Like you're going to come steal my catalytic converter. I'll tell you what.
Did that happen to you, man?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I tell you what. Knock on my door and just tell me you need $50.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I need $50, and if you don't give it to me, I'm going to steal your catalytic converter.
Yeah.
I'll just give you the $50.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, that's like 100%.
I would much like you need
steal
it
the
worse
change out of
than
your freaking thing until you bust your window out to steal your change. Like, dude,
right?
Dude, I would have given you the change.
Yeah, you could have had the change,
bro.
Yeah, I would get. I'm not a big money person. Like I need the money I need to be like for my company and to eat.
Right.
But that's it. I don't need a lot. I don't have a lot of nice things. I don't keep a lot of nice things. Every guitar that's hanging on the wall is fucking busted for some reason. I can't. None of them are playable. I don't think.
Beautiful, man.
There might be one up there that is. But it's just like. Yeah, that's the thing about a thief that I can't stand. And now we're making it okay,
Mm-hmm.
where you can just walk into Walgreens and take what you want, walk out.
Yeah, like in San Francisco.
It's fucking nuts.
That's crazy, dude.
Like, what kind of fucking moron set that policy up?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's insane.
But yet, if you're, you know, let's say that you're in that same Walgreens and you see somebody do that and you beat the fuck out of them.
You're going to jail.
You're
for
going
it.
to jail for it.
Well, here's the thing, though. And
What the fuck happened?
there is a time, and I understand if I can't disagree with you. There's a time where there was like very much the case where if I didn't steal this food, my kids might die. That's what
sure.
Those are times in history where that is 100% right. In that case, compassion. I understand that. The vast majority of theft now has nothing to do with that.
Right.
It has, because like I've worked with a lot of charities before, not a ton of them, trying to toot my own horn, but I've worked with lots of charities. So there's one that the Denver Rescue Mission right now. If you call the Denver Rescue Mission, if you're anywhere in the metro area and you're hungry and you need food, they'll literally drive a truck out to you. And like give
That's
you,
awesome.
They'll load you up with as much food as they can get you. If you can't say, I can't get there, you will not starve. It is impossible to starve in those places.
But see, and that's kind of my issue with the Republicans, right? Like
Yeah.
I consider myself more conservative than liberal, but that's my issue with the conservative. Everything's about pull yourself up bootstraps, cut welfare, cut all these things and all this.
Which I'm not. That.
Dude, there needs to be social things that it's to help the people that really need it.
Right.
But there got to be oversight. There's got to be regulations, and it's got to be done the right way.
So here's the worst thing that I think. If you all these Christian conservatives, I'm definitely Christian, but like I'm not conservative. Well, not in the strictest sense of the matter.
Right.
I'm very like fiscally conservative, but like liberally, I'm very very liberal. Like liberally, I'm socially I'm liberal.
Yeah.
So. If
That's
you,
where I feel. That's
where
most people feel.
Where every conservative is all mad about like welfare and crap like that, just know it's your fault. Because if you had donated more to churches, if you had donated more to charities and stuff, the government would have had no need to step in and do what they're doing.
Or maybe you do things like you just come up with a common sense abortion thing where it's like, let's just say 15 weeks. I'm just pulling out of my ass. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Let's just say 15 weeks. If if somebody needs to get an abortion in 15 weeks, then let them do it. Do I think it's morally right? No. I think it's completely wrong.
I 100% think it's wrong, but
what you're doing is by taking that away from folks, you're creating a bigger problem downstream.
Well,
because now that mom at 13 that's not allowed to abort that baby at 14 weeks or 12 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever it is, I don't know. I don't even fucking know how many weeks it is to have a baby. But if you're creating a bigger problem downstream, because now the government is going to have to put there's just so many things that the government's going to have to now do. Well, and they don't think about that shit.
Well, it has to be just going back to the thing with charities and stuff. The government does the worst job as possibly can when it comes to socialism.
You could have just stopped at the government does the worst job that they possibly can really do everything.
It's I think the last time they checked, like one of the worst offenders of this is the Red Cross. A lot of people don't know this.
Oh,
the Red
terrible.
Cross, it's like 97 or 98% of every cent you give to the Red Cross goes to them.
Yeah,
they just goes to them, and they 2% it. And I know for a fact I have people in other countries who have worked with charities and stuff like that. They say the Red Cross will go in and re-give the same grain 20 times to the same person. So they'll literally go to a different village with the same grain, take pictures, go to a different one, same grain. Like seriously, or if not that, then what they'll do is they'll take that grain and they'll just put the Red Cross will just put their symbol on the thing. Stuff like that. Well, and if you don't like it, Red Cross, fuck you. Come at me. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, you can kiss my ass.
All of those charities, man. Like,
they're horrible.
You definitely, some of the money needs to be kept.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think if you're a president or a CEO or whatever the founder of that, you should make a salary because you work. That's what you do.
Yeah, 100%.
But man, but
it should be switched. It should be like 5 cents of every dollar given, and that's what it typically is with Christian charities and other charities and stuff like that. Like,
I wouldn't go that
Jewish
far, bro.
charities.
Because calm down a little bit on that.
No, I'm telling you, man. I've worked with these charities.
Yeah, I'm not saying with the Christian charities, but with the churches. There's no fucking way.
No. We're not talking about that.
There's no fucking way. No way that Joel Osteen is giving away fucking 95% of what he's taking in.
That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about
that guy.
Charities where they're like in Africa. They typically do very well.
I got you.
I'm not talking about a church.
Yeah.
There's a church and a charity.
And I'm not saying all the churches, but
yeah, there's a Christian church and a Christian charity are different things. If you don't know that they're completely different. There's not the same thing at all.
Gotcha.
So,
well, you just educated me on something. So
what's that?
you just educated me on something.
Yeah, just because it's a Christian charity doesn't mean it's in a church. There are a lot of churches that actually support Christian charities, but they're not the same thing.
See, that's why I always stand in. I don't think churches should be tax exempt, and this is the only reason why. I think if they take the money in and if they do something with that money, that act can write off, just like with every LLC, like we do donations to do write-offs.
Right.
Every LLC does that. If you're smart, if you're a company, you do that. I'm not saying don't do that. But the fact that they're just completely tax exempt, and they can take as much money as they want, and then everybody that works for the church doesn't have to pay taxes on it, and there's just no taxes on it, is fucking insane.
And what you're talking about with the Joel Osteen stuff, I will say this because I've worked with a lot of group. Like I used to be a youth pastor. Like I don't know if I told you that for like six years. So I've worked with a lot of people. There's just no middle ground. There's pastors that are making like $40,000 a year, and they are barely busting. I know some getting through like that. And that's not what I'm talking about here. And I don't have a problem with a person making like $100,000 a year, have a comfortable living, whatever. That's fine. But what I'm talking about, like, I will say this: none of the 12 disciples died in a mansion.
Right. And that's really, to be honest with you, that's why I left. I mean, that's why I just completely disassociated myself, because I'm sorry, and I again, I don't knock anybody for what they do. I'm not one of these guys that doesn't believe. That's like, if you believe in fairy tales. I'm not one of those guys, right? At all. Not even a little bit. Like I mean, if I'm at a funeral and they say bow your head, I bow my head. It's a respect thing.
Right.
And it's a great way to live, dude. But man, every single shitty thing that's ever happened to me in my life, and I've seen so many shitty things happen to many people in the name of religion. And I just,
dude, you know who agrees with you? Like Paul. You know who agrees with you? Jesus. Like anything good can be swung for evil. 100. And that's what kills me about it is like the people that get. I'm not knocking you, bro, but like the people that get upset that like bad things that happen with the church is like the same people. Like you got to understand that the only reason you're not an idiot. You're not an idiot. The reason that they were able to like get something over you because you put them in a place of trust, and that's completely. And those people that have done that to you have a warm spot right next to furnace to hell.
Oh, do they?
Do
they really? Because I was taught that they can just apologize and give themselves to Jesus, and it's fine.
They can say whatever the hell they want,
and that's
bro.
where
That's
I lose
bullshit,
it. But that's
bro.
where I lose it, right?
Yeah.
I lose it. So where I can't get religion, where I can't
Give it to
understand
me, brother.
it,
Yeah.
this is where I can't understand it.
Yeah.
You can take a guy that kills 3 people, right? Let's just say 3 people when they're 17 years old. He does an armed robbery, kills them, whatever. He goes to prison, and he finds God, and he saves himself, and he does all the thing, and he totally redeems his fucking life, right?
Right.
Then he goes to heaven, and he goes to the pearly gates, and he gets accepted, possibly, depending on if it was legit or not.
Yeah.
He gets accepted into the kingdom of heaven, right? But then you got another guy who's never killed anybody, who doesn't lie, who pretty much lives by the Christian standards, but does not believe in God. And then he goes to heaven and he gets turned away.
Yeah, so that has nothing to do with like that.
That's where that's your interpretation. But if you
I hear what you're saying.
it's your interpretation of the Bible.
That's very true.
But
That's very true.
if you talk to these people that in these churches, and it's just, that's just not the way it works. And so I cannot, for the life of me, I can't get behind it.
I get you, brother.
Because it's just not, it's just, to me, that just gives me even more reason not to believe.
Because God's merciful.
No, it gives me more reason not to believe by people saying that I'm not going to go to heaven because I have not accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. Even though in my mind, other than saying fuck a lot,
fuck isn't a cuss word. Dude, isn't a sin. Dude,
I don't lie. I don't cuss. I mean, I don't lie. I don't cheat. I don't steal. I don't murder. I don't do any of those things. I don't break any of that. I cheat on my wife, and whenever, that's why we got divorced. But like, but I had never ever again, and I'll never do that again. It made a mistake, and and it's like,
dude, I love how open you are about shit, dude.
I'm an open book, and I always will be.
Man. You're supposed to be that way, dude. So here's the thing,
but I'm not. Listen, I'm at a very peaceful place in my life when it comes to this stuff. Like I just am. I'm not worried about it. And I'm not one of these. I don't have anxiety about it. I don't have anxiety about death. I don't have anxiety of whether I'm gonna go to heaven or not. Like I'm at total peace. I know what I know, is that I'm a good human being. I know that in my heart. And I'm going to keep living that way, and I'm going to keep doing me, and I'm going to keep being a good human being. And let the rest fall where it may.
And that God will direct you how it wants to be. And I pray that God does. But here's the thing, though. I want to say one thing. Those assholes that did that shit to you, they did that shit to me, too. Like, I've been through some bullshit where, like, I've been told dumbass shit, and then I had to and that I've been abused by, like, people who have been in churches and stuff like that. And how I want to just say, for those dumbasses that done that stuff, just know that God is not an idiot, and He's not going to be mocked by these fucking bullshit artists that think that they're fooling God. It's the dumbest shit in the entire world, and I've always looked at it that way. Like they can say whatever the fuck they want. They can even recite all the prayers that they want and stuff like that. But dude, if they don't actually have a contrite heart, like, God's not a fucking moron. And dude, trust me, bro. That shit right there, like, makes me so. The Bible says, Jesus himself said that someone that causes a little kid to sin, what you're talking about, like molestation stuff, he said it would have been better for this. Jesus Christ said that it would be better for them to have a millstone tied around their neck and cast into a lake because of what's coming for them. So, dude, like, dude, your anger and your frustration.
It's not just that. It's just, at the end of the day,
Yeah.
what I do know is humanity.
Yeah.
And humanity is capable of anything. They're capable of beautiful, beautiful things, and they're capable of pure evil.
Yeah, man.
And humanity wrote the Bible. Listen, humanity wrote the Bible, and that's the way I view it. It's stories that were passed down and passed down and passed down, and eventually put into a book, and that's just the way I view it. And so I view it as a very comfortable way to get away, to view getting away with sin. And that's how I view it. And that's why I just stepped away. And that's why, and I've tried, my girlfriend's super religious, and sometimes I go to church with her, and I've tried, like, with an open heart to receive it. I just can't. I can't get behind it.
That's not how you do it anyways.
I mean, at the end of the day, I can't. But again, I don't knock anybody for the way they live their life. Like, I
thank God for where you are, bro. Dude, God's gonna show you what's up, man. And I hate, because I've had that very similar experience to what you're talking about, dude. And that shit, it just makes me mad. It really does. And the whole, like, taking people's money, hard-earned money, and stuff like that, and thinking that you're a righteous person, dude. It's just it actually. If it wasn't so damn sad, I'd laugh at them, because they think that they're fooling God, and I Yeah, I know. I'm sorry, man.
No, there's nothing to sorry about. Like I said, I'm at peace. I've never been. The reason that I can be so open, right, is it takes a very, very secure person to let other people into their vulnerability.
Yeah, 100%, dude.
I am a very secure person. Good. I'm not cocky by any stretch of imagination, but I am very secure at where I am in my life. I'm very secure that I make really good decisions for myself and my family to do the right thing. Mm-hmm. I know that I don't take advantage of folks. I know, and I won't. Other than just talking some shit. Like, anybody that has a problem with me, I'm telling you right now, anybody that has a problem with me, it's because of something I said, not because of something I did.
That's good.
And if you hear this, and if you have a problem with me because of something I did, I would really, really, really like you to reach out and let me know what that was.
If I even hurt your feelings, like with words, I'd like to know. I'll apologize.
I don't give a fuck about that.
I apologize to people. I don't apologize to mobs. So if there's a group of mobs and shit like that, and they're like, "You said retarded," I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Yeah,
kiss my rebel ass. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, that's happened. One time I made a post about something with that word, and my buddy hits me up, and he's got an autistic kid, and he was like, and so for him, I apologize. I was like, I
didn't mean to hurt your feelings.
Yeah, I didn't.
If that hurt your heart, then fine. But if there's a mob of people, I'm like, kiss my ass. Yeah, but so no, it's
your virtue signaling is not going to affect I'm going to be me regardless of you.
100%, dude. And there's no other. Anything else is a prison.
But I want you to look at this right here, right?
I
want you to look at this conversation, right? You're a Christian, a pretty devout Christian.
Yeah, I love Jesus.
I'm not, right? But yet we're sitting here. And we're not yelling at each other. We're not talking down to each other. Where you're not judging me.
No, you're right. You're right.
It's not becoming contentious. We're not arguing. Yeah. We're just having a very, very civil discussion.
Yeah.
This is what we need to fix all of this.
100%. 100%. Just, dude, of that we definitely can agree. And I believe like the actual and genuine desire to see truth, to find out get to the bottom of shit. I want to find out, dude. If I'm wrong, Jeff, I want to know.
Me too.
If I'm wrong, I want to know, dude. I don't want to be like, I don't want to like, but then there's some people that doubt there's even such a thing as truth. And I'm like, dude, that's the people that I can't even imagine. That would be the hardest part of walking through life. Like nothing's true. Everything's relative. Everything's like, no, there's some truth in this world.
There are facts.
Right.
And there are opinions.
Yes, 100%. It is a fact that you shouldn't fuck children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sorry. That's a fact. There are things we can 100% agree.
You should not take something but let's back up.
Mm-hmm.
That's still an opinion. A fact, and I use this
shouldn't
analogy.
steal people's stuff.
No, you shouldn't.
No.
You shouldn't.
Right.
And society says you shouldn't.
Yeah.
But it's still an opinion, right? And okay. And what I want to do is I want to have a conversation with someone who does steal people's things and try to understand.
Yeah, that
why
actually
they
would
do.
be interesting.
So, but like let's say the temperature. Okay, 98 degrees is 98 degrees.
Yeah.
It's a fact. It's 98 degrees.
That's 100% right.
The way that you feel about it being 98 degrees is an opinion.
Yeah.
And some people think that that's really fucking hot, and some people think that it's not.
That's glorious. Yeah.
And so, you know what I mean? And so it's like,
and that changes depending on where they are. They can think that it's hot as hell, and then, you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
right.
you're 100%.
And then depending on where you're at, you know, whatever.
Or what you're feeling that
like
day.
there are facts. You know, a certain truck gets so many miles per gallon. That's a fact. Right? So there are facts. It's a fact that right now you cannot mine cobalt ethically right now. So every single battery that's out there for cell phones or cars or whatever is using slave labor or very underpaid labor in dangerous conditions to give you that cell phone.
Absolutely.
That is a fact. That's not a fucking opinion. That's a fact.
Right.
Okay? Now, an opinion, me saying you probably shouldn't be using that cell phone, that is an opinion.
Right.
And until we can get back to where facts are facts, and I'm sorry, religion, I know that you feel it is a truth. In your heart, it's a truth. Religion is faith.
It is.
And faith
100%.
is taking a belief in something that you cannot prove.
Yeah. That's
Okay,
the point.
so religion is an opinion. It's a very, very good one, and it's a very, very, if you're part of it, it's fucking rad. All I'm saying is it's still not a fact. It's not a fact
I get you.
that there's a heaven. It's not a fact that there's a hell. It's a fact that there's an outer space. It's a fact that the earth is round.
Is it?
Yes.
Just fucking with
It's
you.
a fact, you know, it's a fact that tornadoes kill people, you know, so you got these facts and you have religion and you have opinion. And to me, all the religions, all of them, Islam, Buddhism, all of them, they're all opinions.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful thing. I'm not knocking it. It's a beautiful thing. I have great respect for people that can live that life. It's a very optimistic way to live, right? But I also have mad respect for people that can say, okay, that's not a fact, and I'm in search of total fucking truth, right?
Right.
And that's where I'm at. And so at the end of the day, if at some point something happens and it does hit me as total truth, then that's where I'll go.
Do you know where the word truth comes from?
No fucking clue.
Dude, you're going to like this. This is really interesting. So,
How long have we been going?
I don't know. I feel like it's been like 20 minutes, brother.
2 hours and 18 minutes.
No fucking way. You serious?
Yeah, this
Shit.
happens, dude. That's why all the episodes are like 3 hours long.
No, that's great. So, truth is from an old English word meaning truoth, and truoth means the unmovable thing. So, like, they often use the word truth for like anything that can be moved. So they use for landmarks and stuff like that. But here's the thing: if it could be moved, then it would stop being truoth. So, like, let's use a giant stone, right? But if someone were able to move that stone, then it would cease to be a truoth.
Gotcha.
Isn't that crazy?
I mean, it is and it's not. It just depends. I mean,
I think that's an interesting.
it's
thing.
very interesting.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
fucking rad.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that's the kind of shit I want to get into on these podcasts.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, but that shit like that's like fascinating.
Yeah,
I think
it is
about trouble
fascinating.
though. I don't think most people like. I hope that most people like want to know that weird stuff, but I don't.
No, let me tell you something. Most people, you can just tell. You can tell what most people want. Most people want what they want right now. They want instant gratification. They want everyone around them to fucking worship them.
Mm-hmm.
If not, you're not. Listen, if you're not wanting everyone around you to think you're beautiful, then why are you putting fake eyelashes on your fucking eyeballs?
And who are you doing that for, dude? No dude finds fake eye. If you're out there putting fake eyelashes, no one gives a shit. No dude has ever been, God, she's fucking hot, but
Those eyelashes.
those eyelashes are too short. I have never.
Same thing with
there's
lips.
No way,
Same thing with lips.
dude. That's crazy.
Same
dude.
thing
Like,
with all of
they're
it.
Like putting the stuff in their lips.
Yeah,
and
it's
stuff like
nuts.
That.
It's
Jeez.
fucking nuts.
I guess I would say like a girl with lips or like whose lips are a little fuller. Okay, cool. But I've never been like, she's perfect.
I'm not fucking that shit because she's got small lips.
Exactly. It's like, dude, she's incredible. She's the most awesome woman. She's sexy. She's wonderful. But her lips, like, if I could get just like 1 more millimeter of lips, I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
no one has said that.
You know what I really like is I like the fact that I can't tell if you're fucking mad at me or not because you have Botox in your fucking face. Like, I'm sorry, but I want to know if you're upset with me.
Dude,
you know?
yeah, I know, dude. Like,
You know?
I want to know the truth. I want to know if
Yeah.
the truth is real, man.
so funny, dude.
It's so frustrating though. It's like it's amazing what people find absolutely like gorgeous and what women think men crave and what.
But guys are bad about it too. Like these fucking hair implants are so funny to me,
Dude,
dude.
they're wonderful, bro. They're just hilarious. They're Bill Burr calls them like someone stapling ant legs. Dude, he's so funny. But that's what women think that they want in a man is what I don't think. Like my marriage is completely different than what anyone would think is.
Right.
Like I'm very much like, this is how we're going to do things. This is how it is. I love my wife and I never like abuse her, it's physically or otherwise. But like, it's very much like I'm the man of the house. All these women are very much attracted to that shit, but they're not saying that that's what they really truly
Right.
want.
because they don't know.
That's right.
They don't know until they have it.
And men don't know it either. Like
No,
there's these dudes that I've met. They're like, yes, dear. And then they're just like, the wife said, yes, dear. I guess that's what I gotta do. And you're like, dude, you look like such a bitch right now. And your wife doesn't want you. Dude, I've never seen a man that acted that way. And their wife's like, dude, I really.
It's not attractive,
Dude,
dude.
it's
There's no
not
way it could be
attractive.
attractive.
There's
Or
no
or
way.
you got a guy, you know, you got the girl that's going out and she's working her ass off every day, and the guy's unemployed and just sitting at home all day, and it's
Doing
like
nothing,
and
sitting
doing
on his
nothing,
ass.
sitting
Yeah.
on his ass,
Yeah.
and it's like, you know.
Even if he has abs, even if he's 6'5",
Yeah.
that shit will get
It's
old,
unattractive.
real fucking old for a woman.
Yeah, women
Real old.
want someone that's going to go out and provide for them and protect them.
Chop some wood.
Yeah,
But the dude,
I'm
as
not chopping wood, but yeah,
yeah, dude, I love chopping wood. That's my favorite thing. You don't like chopping wood?
I love getting wood.
Yeah, you do. Yeah,
But
I'll give you wood later.
I got
buddy.
wood right now.
It's like,
Yeah, I'm not a big manual labor guy anymore. I'll do it if I have to.
Yeah.
But there's gonna be some grumblings, and I'm not mowing my own yard,
the
bro.
oil field will ruin you for that crap, dude. Throwing what did you do in the oil field?
Well, I was in management, so I wasn't out on the rigs and shit.
I wrapped pipe. That's what I did. Wrap pipe, and then I did.
But I've had some shitty jobs.
No, I
ran a jackhammer one time.
Oh,
Dude, let me tell you
your
something.
hands vibrate their whole day,
Dude.
Oh, I hate that shit,
It's
dude.
the worst,
Yeah.
man. Like I've run a jackhammer one time. I owned a bar one time. That was fucking bullshit.
Dude, you think that would be super fun? That's one of those things where everyone thinks it'd be super cool, but then it wouldn't be cool. That's like dating a nympho. Everyone would be like, "Oh, it'd be so great to date a nympho girl that just want to have sex."
No.
24 hours a day. No,
it's not.
That would not be great.
It's
dude.
not cool.
It's not fun at all. And the same thing is like with owning a bar. Everyone's, I'm going to own a bar. You think you're just going to stand there and like wipe down counters the whole time and look?
Most
cool.
of them don't even think they do that.
Dude, what? Is,
Most of them think they sit at the end of the bar and just get drunk and then try to manage while you're fucked up.
my
And then you wonder
gosh.
why nobody likes coming to your bar.
yeah, no joke, dude.
I've had so many issues. There's a place called Voodoo Hut. Fuck that guy, that owner of that place.
If you're listening,
He's not listening. He's an idiot. But like I played there a couple Sunday shows, and he's the kind of guy that like shows up on Sunday with him and his buddies, play Golden Tee and get fucked up. And he wanted to come up to me and get mad at me because I was fucking ribbing the manager on the microphone because the manager a good friend of mine.
Yeah, yeah.
And so like I'm busting his balls on the microphone. Never anything disrespectful.
yeah, right.
Just like funny shit. And he's doing it back, and he fucking got mad at me. And I was like, dude, I went off on that motherfucker.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, this is why nobody wants to come to your fucking bar, bro.
Dude, you know what the best thing ever is? You ever fire a customer? Oh, it's so great.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, firing a customer is the
Yeah,
best
I
thing in
just
the
did
entire
it.
world. Yeah, exactly. Dude, firing a customer is sometimes the most just.
Yes.
And then just see them like, no, I mean,
Yeah.
no,
No, I'm good.
we're done. We're
Yeah.
done. It's seriously.
I'm not mad. I'm not upset.
Yeah.
I'm just.
Yeah, I'm not going to work with you
I'm
and stuff
good.
like that. But that's fine. And there's a ton of stuff like that where there's a ton of things where like people think they can just treat people in the most garbage manner possible, and then when it doesn't work out for them, they're always amazingly shocked. Like I haven't had a ton of problems with bars. I have. Have you ever not been paid? You ever have people just not pay you? I've had that happen
Yeah, I
one
shoved
time.
my telly through a flat screen TV one time because they didn't pay me.
You know, take that on my pay. What a just evil. Like that crap's evil. That's stealing. That's stealing from a person that just worked their ass off.
Even if it's half pay, whatever it is.
Yeah.
If you're not paying me the equal, dude, I just played a place. Again, I can't really get upset about it because I didn't do contracts and I didn't. What I'm starting to do now is I'm starting to look at myself first when something goes shitty and what could I have done better, right? And so I just did this run. We did that bullshit Midland Festival, total fucking horse shit, dude. But on the way up there, we played this place. And I've never been there before. They were super cool about it, but I was supposed to get $1,200 and it was a routing gig and she only paid me $1,000. But it was actually
Did she talk to you? She was like, look, we didn't make anything.
No,
Or
she
like-
just gave me the $1,000, but it was also worked out between another musician. I talked to him, and he was like, I think it was 12, and so it was like, whatever, I'm good with it. I'm not gonna play there again.
Yeah.
and it's that simple, and I just won't play there.
I have played at places where like they're like, hey, here's like, here's $1,000, and I'm like, well, it was 15. Like, was it? And then they go back and they were like, no, it was 15. My bad. And then so I've had that happen, but yeah, there's only been one time where the guy's like, yeah, we're just not gonna pay you.
No.
And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I've also had it like you're playing a place and it's like a Sunday day show and no one's there.
Yeah.
And they come up to you and they be like, hey, would you settle for half price and you can just leave now? And
yeah.
and sometimes I'm like, that's what I.
Yeah, there's literally no one here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That would.
I've never had that happen.
And
That sounds.
no, it happens.
I would take up on that.
Yeah, it
I would
happens.
take up on
And sometimes I'm like, man, and as long as they're cool, like now I really need the money, and they're like,
Yeah.
that's totally cool because and they do
Yeah.
what they agreed upon.
No, this guy, I don't even remember this. The bar doesn't even exist anymore. It was in
no
Kansas
words.
City. Yeah, no wonder. Yeah, right. I fucking don't even remember the name. But I played like a 4-hour show, full thing. We were going through there. You know what I'm saying? This is like gas money, bitch.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he's just like, yeah, I mean, wasn't a lot of people here, so just we'll just call it even.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that's not how this
So
works.
my
This is
issue-
a guarantee, bitch.
My issue is with now that I'm in this original scene, right? All right, let's just take that trip for example. Okay, I booked a routing gig to help me pay for gas and hotels.
100%.
Okay, well, my band, it cost me $900 to put my band on stage.
Right. 100%. A lot of people don't know that.
Okay.
That it actually cost me money to do that.
Okay,
Like,
so if I'm gonna stop on Friday night and play for $1,000 and I pay my band $900, I get a hotel room. It was $340 for 2 rooms. Then I have to pay my TM money plus merch, his percentage of merch. So when I did the math of it, for me to stop and do that $1,000 gig, I actually lost $400. It would have been way more financially smart for me to just drive to Midland and take that night off.
right.
Right? Then that's what they don't realize.
Yeah.
And so now if it's a spot that's hopping, right? If you got a spot that's fucking bad to the bone,
Yeah.
and there's always a built-in crowd there,
And there's merch and
then
that
it's
you can
work.
sell.
And, not only just merch, but also exposure. And
Right.
like me, I will go open up for Shane Smith tomorrow.
Yeah.
For
Oh.
for $500 or
100%.
for free. Like just fucking hit me up. I'll go do it. I ain't scared. I'm not scared. I'll go do it.
I have this theory about that. And you, dude, you tell me I'm wrong. I
But
could be completely wrong.
the reason I say that I'll do that is because what I look at, it's an investment of my own money
Right.
back into creating fans.
So I have this theory that if you don't charge them something, a fucking dollar. Put
Yeah.
put a dollar.
$250 is usually minimal.
Yeah, like put something in my hand. If you don't charge them a dollar, they won't respect you and they won't value what you're doing.
100%.
So like we have a standing thing. Like if we have shows that are like just for like promotional shows, like unless it's like going playing like a radio show or something like that, then like if it's a whole band and stuff like that, like we got to do something. I don't give a care what it is. Even if it's $100, something
Yeah,
like that.
I'm the same way.
Just to show me that you actually give a shit.
Yeah.
And then
I'll do one free show a quarter. and that's usually for a charity that I know where the money's going.
Right.
But I'm not doing more than 1 a quarter.
Yeah.
I'm just not doing it. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't believe in your charity. I'll come volunteer at one of your events.
100%.
But I'll do 1 show a quarter that I'll do for free for, or, like, one day my buddy Jeremy Bellamy hit me up, right? And it's like, hey man, I do this thing on Tuesday at this place, and it was up in Sweetwater Grill up east of Dallas.
Okay.
And he's like, man, but the budget's only $150, so it'd be $75 a piece. But I really want to play a show with you. Would you, are you cool with that? Blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
And I fucking got my truck and I drove. Did I lose money? Yeah, I lost money, but I had a great time.
Right.
And I got to hang out with some cool kids. I sat on a podcast when I was up there.
Yeah.
It was just a cool night.
Make shit work.
So it's not always about the money, and I don't want anybody to think it's always about the money. It's not always about the money. But when it does become about the money is when you're playing a venue that's got hundreds of fucking people there, and they're making money hand over fucking fist.
And then they refuse to pay you,
And
or
then-
they half pay you, or
and
whatever.
then they pay you bullshit. Like I'm not doing that, man.
Yeah.
Or one thing I really like, this is the funny part, is that everybody knows that if I play a show in Montgomery County, I'm going to sell tickets. So I got all of these artists now that are bigger than me on the Spotify shit, and they've had number ones on radio. They're reaching out to me to ask me if I'll open for them in Montgomery County.
Right.
And I'm like, no. Like, I'm a headliner in Montgomery County.
Yeah.
Now, if a festival, I'll play a festival. But if I'm playing in Montgomery County, now I am, like, tomorrow, Wednesday, I'm opening for Jeff Crosby tomorrow at Do-Si-Do, and sometimes I'll take that away.
Right.
But like, I'm not gonna go open up for some artist that is using me just to sell tickets for $200.
So how much do they like? Yeah, especially not with a full band. Like, you get the hell out of here. But like, has any of that like come back to bite you in the ass and nothing like that, or
No. Like there's
You
a
gotta have your principles
there's a
anyways.
promoter here, right? And they're throwing a party at Sam Houston Raceway Park, and it's Jesse Payton, and it's his birthday, so he's a comedian.
Okay.
And so this promoter reached out to me. He's like, hey man, we want you to come open this show, and we'll pay you $300 just so $300 for an hour's worth of work. His thing was only an hour's worth of work. Well, as soon as I saw that only an hour's worth of work, I immediately was
Pounced
like,
him.
I sent him back. I said, no, I don't even get on stage for less than $500.
Yeah.
Is that totally true? No. But you already let me know that you don't value.
in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form?
if
don't
you
value my time.
valued me being there, you would have come back and said, "Oh man, I can do 500." And so if you don't value me,
Yeah.
fine.
Well, I would be very tempted not even like if I saw that to be like not even respond to that, just because they're like they don't. And for all you people watching out there, you might not know this, but like no one pays me to play music. They pay me to drive there,
Yeah.
set up, talk, and then play the music, and then unload, and then drive and miss my family. That's what you're paying me for.
Yeah.
And when they're like it's only an hour of work, the singing ain't the work.
Yeah.
Everything else is the work.
The singing, the being on stage is my reward for all the other fucking shit I have to do.
That's 1,000% right.
Yeah,
even
they
though-
don't understand it.
dude. Well, that's a person that doesn't understand music or even care to understand.
But it's our fault. That's again, you have to put the mirror back on yourself.
grandpa's fault.
No.
No. It's who makes me mad.
It's our fault.
Is the grandpas that like they like to play a little bit of music every once in a while. So they'll like play a show and they'll go, we'll play it for $50. I'm like, no, music should cost more than.
Yeah, but again,
I'm joking. I don't care about grandpas. You're fine.
again, if you're doing everything that you need to do
Right.
to put the best product on stage and to market yourself and all those things, then undercutters won't matter. I tell you what, guys that go play shows for $150, they don't affect me at all.
Yeah. Well, except for the fact that
They don't affect me at all.
yeah, I care what you're saying
Like, not even a little bit.
Because bar owners, they do if you're in the bar circuit. Because in the bar circuit, especially if it's where you're trying to build.
No,
up,
they never did in the bar circuit. I'm telling you.
Really?
No, whenever I am. Again, you never ever hear me brag, dude.
Okay.
I'm not a brag person, right? But let me tell you something. I am exceptionally fucking good at what I do.
Yeah.
Better than most.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that out of a cocky thing. I'm saying that just out of the pure facts of what I've been able to accomplish in my life.
Sure.
Dude, there was a time where I could literally play 10 shows a week if I wanted to. Not even kidding. At $500 a pop. Like there was.
Good.
Right? And I could do that tomorrow if I wanted to.
Right.
But the reason I was able to do that is because I'm so good at what I do.
Right.
But if you're just a guy that's barely putting in the fucking effort and you're on a bar stool playing fucking sad Merle Haggard songs all night and you don't have any jokes and you don't have any tricks to get the crowd interactive. You don't have anything. I don't give a shit how good your voice is and how good your guitar playing is. If you're not doing everything you got to do to turn people's heads, then I'm sorry, you're no better than the 150 guy that sucks.
So I do agree with that. The only thing that I will add to that is that 150, or with most promoters that don't know shit about music, they think that's the baseline. They think that's a good, I've met, honest to God, I 100%.
But it's your fault for taking it.
No, and I won't. And I'll be like, that's terrible. But I really will take a moment and be like, listen, I don't think you know. You seem like a good person, but like I've had honest.
Yeah, it's
to
more
God,
ignorance than shitty people.
100%. So I've had people like that I go to and they're like, hey, I got a whole band. Like they're like, how much does it pay for 3 hours? They're like, okay, will you take like $300 for 3 hours? It's like $100 a piece. And I'd be like, no, it's not. That's not $100 a piece. There's a whole band. Yeah. Like do you think that's a good price? And they're like, isn't that a good price? Well, we pay this one guy over here like $150. We doubled it for you.
Then your answer should be call them.
And then it is. But I have learned to be a little bit more patient with them because I honestly do believe it's ignorance. Because they're like, if they're one of these slick, like I'll do whatever, you should be grateful for like go fuck yourself. I'll like give you the curly 2 fingers in the eyes, you piece of shit. But most of the time it's the people like, I thought that's good. Is it not right? Dude,
if that's the case, I'll talk to you about it. Yeah,
I'm like, no, it's not right because you think about like that's 4 people. That's like not that doesn't even cover like my band,
right?
And that's
like I said, my band cost me $900 to get on stage
because you have a badass band,
and also my band is not going to play a 3-hour show,
dude.
We don't do it. We just don't. The most we'll do is 90 minutes, and now we'll do 90 minutes, and we'll do another 3 or 4 songs on encore if it's popping.
Sure,
but no, and that's what we got. We got to get back. But again,
does it mess with your voice if you go longer than 90 minutes?
Dude, I played 300 shows a year from 2006 to 2020. 300 shows every year, and those are all 4-hour shows.
And that's how you got it. And that's how you got
every fucking year.
Well, that's how you got to look here. It doesn't matter who you are. If you work hard at something, you're going to get good at it. Yeah. That's how you know how to work the crowd. Because I can tell you right now. Look, we were saying this earlier. Like all these, they're pulling kids off of YouTube and stuff like that, and they're trying to make them superstars. They don't know what they're doing on the stage. But it's not a gift. It's just some people can work crowds because they've been doing it for so long, and you gotta be fair to the people out there. So yeah, man.
Yeah, and that's my thing. I mean, that's why I tell every artist that I ever talk to that's younger, I'm always like, you need to be putting yourself in as many positions out of your comfort level as possible, out of your comfort zone.
Get in the reps.
Yeah,
get the reps,
but not even on stage. Like I tell them all the time, like if you're at a comedy club, sit in the front row. Sit in the front row, and if they're and you want to get fucked with, you want it.
Yeah.
And if you're at like the Renaissance Festival and there's a show and they ask for volunteers, you want to be the one volunteered.
Yeah.
I don't do it anymore because there's nothing that happened to me that's gonna make me uncomfortable on stage because I've seen it all. But like you gotta, because if you're not, dude, I'm just telling you, if any artist has ever listened to anything, there is no such thing as a show that goes perfectly.
None.
It's not. I've played, I'm over 5,000 shows.
Yeah.
I've never, ever, ever in my entire career played a show where everything just went fucking great.
Just like I would do if someone told me that, I'd be like, "You're full of shit."
Yeah,
like, I had to show it, and literally everything. I'm like, "No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
You're full of shit.
There's no fucking
you weren't
way.
Paying
There's
attention.
always something. You get to the venue, there's no hospitality. There's no parking. There's no load in.
Yeah.
There's you're starting at 9 and you thought you were starting at 8, and there's just the headliner is still sound checking. I mean, Scott Stapp took a 4-hour sound check the other day. 4 fucking hours for sound check. 4 hours.
Can I ask you a question? You've been doing this a long time. What musicians do you have the most problem with? In the band?
I don't have any problems with my musicians because this is why.
Yeah.
Because I am so blunt and honest at the very beginning, and expectations are laid out at the very beginning. Most people that have problems with their musicians is because they're not good at laying out expectations.
Right. Or being firm.
Or being firm. And they put up with shit.
And see, that's my problem. It's like I do put up with shit a lot of times, and then I just read a book called The Courage to Be Disliked, and it's very helpful, like just being very straightforward and very curt with people and telling them the truth. Because that's
the way I am.
Because I don't want to be hurt someone's feelings, but it's unnecessarily. But at the same time, I got to be like,
But let me ask you a question.
The people that I have the most problem with is the bass players. That's what I was going to say.
This is a question I ask people all the time that are kind of like that are a little bit timid about speaking their mind.
Yeah.
What's the bigger asshole move? Is the bigger asshole move for me to not like something that you did,
Yeah.
and I don't say anything to you, and I put it in my head, and I got this fucking resentment about it, and then I just don't ever tell you what's going on, but I expect a different action. Or is the bigger asshole move for me to come out and say, you did this and I don't fucking appreciate it?
Right.
Now we can have a conversation about it, and I might be wrong, and we can talk about that. That's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
But to me, this whole bullshit where if you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all, shit. Fuck you.
No,
that's what
100%.
creates anxiety.
Yeah.
That's what creates tension. It's what creates just a total a toxic environment. Is because you have unrealistic expectations and you don't speak your mind. You have to do those things.
So one thing that I really value in my life is friendship. I think friendship is absolutely, I have about probably like 5 friends that I could literally kill someone and be like, come help me out. And they'll help you out. What happened to you that you don't need to know.
Yeah.
Cool. Good enough.
That
I
scene
love you
in
and
the
I trust
town,
you.
the scene in the town with Ben Affleck when he's
whose
like,
car are we going to say?
yeah,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
we're gonna fuck some people up.
So one of the things I read was like, a person that does not lay out expectations and is not honest with what they desire breeds false friendship.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't even have a friendship. Think about that, dude.
Or a relationship.
You don't have a relationship. You think you're lying to yourself and saying that you have a relationship, but you don't have a relationship because a relationship would be like, I know where that person stands. And think about it. All the great friendships that you have is because you know exactly where they stand,
Yes.
and they know exactly where you stand.
Yes.
And so, yeah, and that something about that phrase, a false friendship, made me go, "Oh,
The only
shit."
time I don't speak my mind anymore is when somebody I've already given up on. It's already somebody I have no respect for. If it's somebody I have no respect for, I'm not even. That's it. I'm not even talk to you.
Yeah.
I won't shake your hand.
Yeah.
I won't play nice.
Yeah.
I won't be mean. But you, as far as I'm concerned, you don't fucking exist. I have no respect for you. That's it. And that's where I am with a lot of people now.
Yeah.
And it's like if I see them out, I mean, I will literally, I'm not even kidding. I will literally, if they could be in a circle talking to 3 of my friends, I will go shake everyone else's hand and just fucking walk off.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. And does that make me an asshole? Probably. But I don't care because you've already shown me that you have no redeeming qualities for me. Like at all. Like that you offer nothing. You offer nothing to society. I have no respect for you.
Yeah. That's yeah.
I got sucker punched for it one time. I was at
Someone
Flying
sucker
Pug.
punched you?
Yeah, I was at Flying Pug, a bar right over here, and the owner of Stadium, who I do not like at all, he comes up to me and holds his hand out. He's like, shake my hand, and I said, I'm good. And I just got my water, and I walked off, and he fucking come over. Like I was talking to a friend, he fucking caught me twice.
The fact that he would sucker punch you pretty much means that you're probably right about the handshake.
He hit like a bitch anyway. So I turned around, I didn't even hit him. I was like, you hit like a bitch. And he's a total bitch.
Oh my gosh.
He's a bitch.
I can't even imagine sucker punching.
Yeah,
anybody.
his name is I don't remember his name, but he's a bitch.
He'll die. He'll die in history. No one will ever remember his name.
Kenny, that was his name, Kenny.
Don't.
I don't
Just
care,
kidding.
dude.
I don't want people to remember Kenny. The hard thing that I really do is like whenever I see people like that, I watch them self-destruct.
That's what I'm saying.
And it's hard for me not to find joy in that because I got to be like, oh,
See,
you know what?
guess
shake it
what?
off.
That's the part I don't have to worry about, bro.
No, dude. So like Portnoy, or what's his name was from Barstool Sports. Do you know that guy?
Oh yeah.
Dave Portnoy, I think it is. He writes like, do you see the thing? He has champagne bottles, and whenever his people that he hates like fails, he has their names engraved on champagne bottles, and whenever they fail, he breaks over those.
Hell yeah, that's badass.
Because it's not enough of that I
should do that with
succeed.
cigar or something, dude. That's
Dude,
fucking
you like
rad.
cigars? I like cigars, dude. I love
They're all
cigars.
right. I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't really do anything for me.
Oh, dude, I
I'd
love
rather much
cigars,
rather
dude.
smoke a joint.
No, dude, I love cigars, man. They relaxes me.
I like
down.
blunts. The blunts count.
If they're wrapped in Switzer sweets, I guess. I'm not trying to. There's 50-50 mixes. Like apparently, like people. You ever see that movie, The Gentleman, where he says that's how he smokes his weed?
Yeah.
It's half weed and half tobacco.
I know a lot of people like that.
Really? I don't know.
Yeah, I know some guys that will only smoke blunts and they won't eat edibles. They won't smoke joints. They won't smoke
Yeah.
out of a bong. They only smoke blunts. I know some people will only smoke out of a bong. I don't smoke at all. Like I rarely smoke. Like if I'm out, like first of all, I'm not like a daytime pothead. Like I don't get on stage high. I cannot. I just because I'm like a dipshit.
Yeah.
I just, but I talk about this pretty openly. Like THC saved my life. Like it legit saved my life. I'm off 5 medications because I started eating it at night in 2019.
I have friends that like that too.
Yeah, and it fixed me. I'm also not an advocate. Like I'm not trying to go out there and be like, no, this is what you got to do.
Right.
It worked for me, and I'm going to keep doing it.
I had a friend that had horrible depression. Horrible depression, was on antidepressants and stuff like that, and it just made him worse. And the doctor, actually was like, "Look, you probably want to try something. Let's get you off these antidepressants. Just try to
mushrooms,
eat some
THC.
edibles."
Yeah.
And it changed his life.
Yeah.
He
I know
could
people
sleep at night.
I
Yeah,
literally know people that went through very, very bad times in Iraq, and then they came home and they started microdosing mushrooms, and it totally eliminated PTSD.
You know what we
got them
call
off
that?
drugs.
You know what we call that? Medicine.
Yeah, medicine.
It's just medicine, dude.
It's just medicine, and that's the way I look at it.
That's
Again,
not how I looked at it when I was a kid, though. When I was a kid, I was like, "Look, Dad, they're just crackheads."
but a lot of that's
I'm
the
an
way we
idiot.
were raised. You know, I was raised very intolerant. I'm not kidding. I was raised very intolerant of people.
I like being intolerant, though. I don't have a problem with being intolerant. I have a problem with saying shit's in the Bible when it's not. And
No, but I'm just talking about just in general. You know, I was raised under the guise of Christianity that white Christian males were are superior to
Are you serious?
everybody else.
Well, see, that's not good.
Yeah.
That's not true.
No, you think?
What?
I'm just trying to say that's the way I was fucking
Jesus.
raised.
That's the kind of bullshit that I've always had to deal with and stuff like that. Like Jesus wasn't white. Jesus was Arab. He was, you know what I'm saying? Like shit like that.
But man,
Like,
here's the
dumb
thing.
fucking-
Here's the thing about small town people.
Mm-hmm.
There are great small town values. I'm very grateful I was born and raised in the town I was in.
Mm-hmm.
Very small town values, safety.
Mm-hmm.
You're kind of, you know, if you're at a grocery store and you're acting up and a stranger come up pop you inside the fucking
Yeah.
head, you know, just
Big
like
fan.
like raised as a like community raised, you know, or if like
100%.
or like you know, you get busted by the cops doing something, they put you in the back of the cop car, they bring you home,
Yeah.
and then your parents
Whip your
punish
ass.
you
In
to the
front of
point
them.
where you don't
In front of
Right.
them, whip your ass.
You know, so on that part, I'm very, very, very grateful.
Right.
But the part that I'm not grateful for, and it's the same thing with the other side in
Yeah.
inner cities, is when you never get out of your environment,
100%.
you don't know anything.
Yeah.
Not that you don't know some things, you don't know anything. You might know how to start that tractor,
Right.
And you might know how to till that field, and you might know how to saddle that horse, and you might know how to rodeo, and you might know how to do these things, but you don't know anything outside of those little things, you know. And that's what got me is when I turned 20 and I moved out of that fucking town. I got out and started seeing the world and started seeing what people really like.
So doesn't that bother that would bother the shit out of me. I want to know everything. I want to see everything. I want to see the tiniest thing to the biggest
Well, it's
thing.
called small-minded for a reason.
Yeah, I guess it's true.
I mean, you got to think.
Those people are very like,
You got to think. If your life,
yeah.
right? If your life, you wake up 4:30 in the morning, you get in your log truck, and you go out, and for 9-10 hours that day,
Yeah.
you're in your log truck, and you're fucking on your CB radio, and you're talking
Yeah,
shit
yeah.
to all the truckers, and then you get done, and you come home, and you break open a case of fucking Busch beer, and you drink you drink 6, 8, 10, 12 beers, and then you eat dinner, and then you're in bed by fucking 7 o'clock at night. Every day, that's your routine.
Yeah.
Every day, and then you're off on Saturday and Sundays. So you go to the deer lease and you sit around the same people that you fucking work
Drink the
with,
same beer.
drink the same beer, do the same shit. I'm sorry, you don't have a clue what the world's like. You don't. And so when you're all fuck Biden and this and that, and that's all you do, I can't take you seriously at all.
I don't understand.
But it's the same way with the other side, the inner city kids that, you know, you're 12 years old, you started selling crack at 12 to feed your fucking family, and then you get into that life of crime and you've never been outside of that. That's all you know. That's it. You know what I mean? And when you have one side that's that and the other side that's that, you have what we have now, instead of just people that are well traveled and can see things in a very, very clear head because they've seen multiple situations. You know, you've been to a town that is decimated in the middle of Tennessee,
Right.
or the middle of Alabama or Kentucky or up in West Virginia. You've been to a town that's just decimated by, the plant shut down or
Yeah.
whatever, or when you see that and you walk with some empathy and you try to put yourself in those people's shoes, then you grow as an individual. So there's small-minded people and there's people that grow mentally. I want to be around people that grow mentally. I don't want to be around small-minded people.
I think you're right. And I think at some point I do admire people that can do that, because then they're just like, they can find contentment in that. You want to know why I got fired from every single job? Because at some point or another, I was like, this is fucking dumb.
Yeah, but same here.
Why am I like, I remember I got talked to one time because I had this job where I sat down and they gave you a stack of papers to call people and make sure that they have their gases for their welding and stuff like that. I'm like, okay, I can do that. And I would get that bitch done in like 30 minutes, 40 minutes. And then I'd sat on the phones and waited for people to call. And that was my job. And I just took orders and stuff like that. And I would literally sit down and I wouldn't goof off or do anything like that. So I wasn't like, I was bullshitting or nothing like that. I'd just sit there. And the boss would come by and be like, why is it that you come, that whenever you're never doing any work at your desk?
Because I already fucking did it.
Because I already did it. And he's like,
and you are too stupid to give me more.
Yeah, I'm like, and I would tell him that. I would be like, dude, you can give me more if you want. Like, I still work. Well, you're telling me why everyone else is doing this. And I didn't, I liked the people I worked with, so I didn't have the heart to say, because they're shuffling papers around to try to but for me, I could never get myself to do that.
I mean, I'm the same way.
I'd be like, no, I'm going to be like honest with you. Like, I finished your work.
Yeah, like I like to get to a gig and I like to load in as fast as possible and get sound check as fast as possible. And then that way I can just chill out.
Yeah.
Before I have to play.
So why do
But there's other guys that show up last minute, or they show up and they fuck around. They don't start setting up till last minute. Yeah.
That would drive me up. But the point is, like, I want to be honest in everything that I'm doing. And I'm curious about everything.
Yeah,
dude.
me too.
I just want to know. I want to know why something works. I want to know why this does this, or why someone would, with their mind, go to that conclusion instead of another conclusion and stuff like that. While that makes you a great artist and makes me okay at it, but like what makes us good at that stuff is that curiosity. But it's at the same time, for me anyways, it's a constant, like, I'm never content with anything.
It's a blessing and a curse. I'm the same way.
It is.
I think we're a lot alike in that aspect. I mean, I'm the same way, and I'm a fixer. Right, like I'm a fixer.
Oh my God, yeah.
And
dude.
that's kind of why I'm so vocal about things like Texas radio. It's because right now the system is broken.
Okay.
Completely broken. But the people that are making the thousands and thousands of dollars off of it, they don't want it to change.
Yeah.
But the artists that are getting snubbed because of money and shit, it's just not right, and it's not, and it needs to be fixed. And so, but that's my biggest problem is that I'm opinionated. I'm a fixer. I don't take shit off anybody.
Yeah.
And so those three things, I speak my mind, pretty freely. Those three things, it's dynamite, and it's dynamite to establishments. Establishments don't want to fuck with that because they don't want somebody that's going to come in and fucking stir shit up.
So but as an establishment, if I'm the person, this is what I never understood about this stuff, like the status quo. If I love baseball. I think baseball's the greatest thing ever. And I get like the best players I possibly can and onto the league. Then I have one player that I don't represent comes in and he's going to blow everything wide open. Well, don't I want him to blow it wide open so that it can be better for the game?
That's the way it should be.
And the same with like music. Like if I'm like I have these people that I want to be, win this, or I want that want to succeed, and then I see someone else come along.
No, because
I don't know about you and me, but
don't
like
want change.
When I see like someone come along who I've never heard of, who is a straight badass, I don't go, God, they better not take my gigs away.
I don't either.
I go, this is
fucking
insane.
rad.
Look at this dude. This guy's a monster. How
here.
would you like to write a song with me, dude? I'd probably not, but I would love to write a song.
But that's where it is in politics too.
That's fucking
it's
stupid.
like if you think about it,
Yeah.
like okay, the way to build a team. Right. The what used to happen is the age old saying, you're as strong as your weakest link.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's and you build a team and you take your strongest link and you build a team around them and you prop those people up and you try to find people that are strong. And so you have to cut the fat. You have to cut the people. Politics and business, big corporations, They don't act like that. That's not how they act because they don't want things to change. You know, that's why Elon Musk kicks everybody's ass because he's constantly doing things to shake the system up. He's constantly doing things to change, to shake shit up. Always. And that's what you have to do. You always have to shake shit up. If you don't shake shit up, people get complacent, and then the people that are really good at finding ways to benefit from it will find ways to benefit from it. It doesn't matter what happens. If you were to, if today you were to take all of the money in the United States, every single fucking dime of the people in the United, and you put it in one big thing, and you disperse it to equally to every single citizen in the United States, most of that money will end up right back where it was very, very quickly.
You've read The Richest Man in Babylon?
I have not.
You should read that book.
You should read this book.
What is it?
The War of Art.
I've heard of this. This is by
Not The Art of War. Stephen Pressfield. This book changed my life, dude.
I thought that was
Not The Art of War. It's The War of Art.
yeah, the Art of War is Sang Tzu or Sang Tzu. Yeah, my
That's
wife
great.
loves that book.
That's all about. It's all about eliminating distractions and getting your ego in check. And it's really
I
good
need
book.
that, dude.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you can have that copy if you want one.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, I got plenty.
God, you sweetheart.
Yeah, you can have that copy, and
And can I have this?
plus I have it on. You can have whatever you want. I have it on audiobook as well. I have to fucking piss.
Me too. Let's be together.
And we're 3 hours into this thing, so I think we should put a pin in it. It's great meeting you.
Absolutely,
I
brother.
think you're great.
Yeah.
Definitely let's do some shows together or whatever.
No,
man.
for
Yeah,
real. That'd be
yeah.
awesome.
Why not?
I'm down with that.
I'm always down for whatever, bro.
Absolutely.
You know what, man?
I am too, man. I really am, though.
I absolutely love when I get an opportunity to shed a light on somebody else. It really makes me happy. You know, Peyton Riley. So I'm going to tell you, everybody on that listens to the podcast already knows this.
How did you meet Peyton Riley?
She introduced herself at a show one time, and we just immediately started. You know, she was following me, and her dad. They came out to see me play for her dad's birthday, and I got her on stage and she did a couple songs.
Nice.
But like so the number one thing in my career that I'm most proud of above anything is my performance in the music video for Monsters, my song Monsters. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
No, I haven't.
It's just me and a camera guy. That's it. And like that performance of me in that song, in that video, it is hands down the thing I'm most proud of in my career.
Dude, I'll check it out for sure.
It's not me being on stage in front of thousands of people. It's not me winning an award. It's not any of that. It is my performance of that. The second thing I'm most proud of in my entire life, in my entire career, is we did a release party for my live album at Do Si Do. And there was like 250, 300 people there, and like 30 musicians came out to support this thing. It was awesome, dude. It was so badass. And Peyton was there. Well, I stopped in the middle of my set, my whole band, everybody. We stopped in the middle of my set, and I said, I have got to introduce y'all to this. At the time, she was 14. I said, this 14-year-old girl. And she gets on stage, and she plays her song, the same one she played on the American Idol thing. And dude, she had the whole crowd, including me, in fucking tears, bro.
That's so awesome.
I had the fucking shakes, man. And then I got back on stage and we killed it. Doing that is the second thing I'm most proud of. It's not even something I did. It's not even something I accomplished. It's just me shedding that light onto her.
Yeah,
was so great. And then watching her sell out rooms now and doing all of these things. It's
because you love
fucking rad.
It's because you love music, dude. Because you actually want the music to improve.
It's not just music. It's people. It's people. I want everything to improve.
Yeah.
I want everything to improve, dude.
Yeah.
I want the government to improve. I'm not going to sit here and just bitch and moan and complain about the government and not offer solutions
Or help. Yeah.
You know, I want every musician to improve. Even the fuck faces that I don't like in the industry, man, I wish them the most success. I do. I really do. And I hope at some point they find their heart to not be such bitches. Mm-hmm. I doubt they do, but I hope. That's what I want.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's the kind of person I am. That's just what I want. I mean, I've seen so many bad things in my life, dude.
Yeah.
So many traumatic things. I've gone through shit that would break most people. Yeah. And it broke me. Like,
yeah.
And I figured out a way to come out of it, and I figured out a way to come out a better person.
Yeah.
I don't want to be jaded, even though that sometimes I seem like I am. I don't want to be jaded. I just want everything to improve.
Yeah.
And I want people to embrace change.
Yeah.
But it needs to be it needs to be changed that makes sense.
Yeah. True improvement.
True improvement.
Not just change for change sake.
Right.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, you know, that's what I want. And so if I can do that and help one person change their perception on that and come over to that side of things, then maybe I did my job on this planet.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's just how I truly, truly, truly feel. It's in my heart. That's how I truly feel. I would much rather go support an artist that is like, I would much rather go support a friend of mine that's making a Grand Ole Opry debut than for me to actually make my Grand Ole Opry debut. That's just how I am.
No, it's true.
That's just how I am.
I'd be so proud.
Yeah,
You know,
so unbelievably proud.
Yeah.
And I, you know, that's why I don't, you know, just take Peyton Riley for example. You know, I started working with her when I was 19, when she was 19 years old. She's 21 now. Maybe she was 18, and she's just killing it, man. And
With
like
who? Wait.
Peyton Howie.
Peyton Howie.
Yeah,
okay.
sorry, Peyton Howie. I started working with her when she was 18 or 19 years old, and she's opened up for me countless times. And now, like, I think in June, there's like 3 dates. We're going on the road and opening for her. And there's not a single jealous bone in my
Exactly.
body. But I'm
Oh
so
my gosh, dude.
unbelievably happy for her. It's so rad, dude. If you come on this podcast, I don't even know you really. But if you come on this podcast and something goes viral off this podcast and then you become a huge fucking star, that would be so fucking rad to me.
Absolutely.
It would be rad.
Yeah.
Completely rad. And that's all. That's it. At the end of the day, that's what I want to be. I just want to be a light. You know, and I'm not trying to say that I'm better than anybody. It's not that. It's just there's so much darkness, man. There's so many people living in the shadows in this world.
Yeah.
And we need more people that not only will shed a light but want to shed a light.
Yeah.
Cuz that's what matters. Is like, where does that come from?
Yeah.
I think it's because maybe I never got any light shed on me. Maybe I had to work, I had to fight and claw for every single eyeball I've ever got on me. I've been told I'm not good enough my whole fucking life in everything I've ever done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Exactly what you mean.
And so maybe it's giving people those opportunities. I know that's what I would do. I can tell you right now, if I ever get to the point where I'm actually making money off this thing, the first thing I'm going to do is start a label. And it will not be a label where I make more money. It'll be a break-even label where it's just shedding light on fucking badass artists.
Yeah.
It's just the way I feel.
Dude, that's a good way to be.
You know?
It's a great way to live.
It's working.
Yeah.
Every night I go to bed and I feel great.
And sleep well. Yeah, I can imagine.
That's why I'm kind of mad at myself about the last few weeks. You know?
Being like the anger part,
Just being so upset and letting everyone see it. You know, I know that there's some people out there that are probably viewing my page. Jeff Kenner's a whiny little bitch. I know they are, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But what I do know is there's multiple artists that have reached out to me, not on social media. Multiple artists, way bigger than me, have reached out to me and have put their support behind me. And as far as I'm concerned, that's okay. And if I can get one thing to change, you know, if I can get one person to realize, man, maybe I should clap for live music.
Yeah.
Then maybe I did my job. Because if one person does it, it's contagious.
Yeah.
The clap's contagious, bro.
It is.
All right, let's get out of here.
Absolutely, man.
Good meeting you, man.
Absolute pleasure, brother.
Let's
It really was.
Let's go.